Thursday Night Football brings us to Minneapolis, Mall of America Field at the Metrodome. And our matchup tonight, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road against the Minnesota Vikings. And we welcome you to Minneapolis, everybody. Brad Nessler along with Mike Mayock. Minnesota Vikings right now at 5-2. 2 more wins than all of last year. And, Mike, they're the surprise of the league right now. What isn't surprising is they have 2 of the most dynamic offensive players in the entire National Football League.
Yeah, and if you're Tampa Bay, priority number 1 has got to be contain Adrian Peterson. Last week against a really good Arizona team, 23 carries for 153, almost 7 yards a carry. Priority number 2 has got to be Percy Harvin. Now, the problem is, easier said than done. He lines up everywhere, tailback, wingback, slot, wideout, and the fun really starts on kickoff returns. Now, for me, whether or not this is a playoff team hinges on the quarterback, Christian Ponder. Year number 2, he's got 9 giveaways on the season, but 7 of those have come in the last 3 weeks. His development will ultimately dictate whether or not the Vikings are a playoff team this year.
In talking with Christian Ponder, it is pretty apparent that he knows what he's doing wrong. Sometimes he just can't help himself. On the other side of the coin, Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 2-4. And I know Bucs fans don't want to hear this, but they're probably better than their record would indicate. And since the bye week that they had a couple of weeks ago, their pass offense has been on fire, Mike.
Yeah, I was disappointed in Josh Freeman a year ago. 16 touchdowns, 22 interceptions. I thought he regressed. However, I think with Vincent Jackson's arrival this year, he's become a different football player. Vincent Jackson, 6'5", 230 pounds. Whenever he gets single coverage, Josh Freeman will identify and attack. And Vincent Jackson is a big play wide receiver.
Josh Freeman on the sideline. Tonight's game available in HD and Spanish on your SAP channel. As always, the crowd already into it here in Minneapolis. Greg Schiano, his first year in the National Football League as a head coach. Leslie Frazier, his 3rd full season as the Vikings head man. Tampa Bay won the toss, and they deferred. So one of the most dangerous return men, as Mike said, in all of football is back deep. Michael Kanan's got it teed up. 2 old rivals back when it was the NFC Central Division. Now one from the south, one from the north, and we're underway. Percy Harvin won't have a chance at this one as it almost made the stands. The Vikings will go to work from the 20-yard line. How did they get here? A win in overtime over Jacksonville in the season opener. That was a good sign. They stunned San Francisco. That shocked everybody around the league, 24-13. And beating the Cardinals a week ago to improve to 5-2. And as I mentioned, 2 games better than all of 2011. So Ponder and the Vikings work from the 20.
I think they really want to get him comfortable early. His confidence is a little shaken. Let's see if he can get some completions that are easy to get to.
Play action. Ponder already pressured and asked to throw it away. And Michael Bennett got the heat on him on the first snap of the ball game. So they tried to get him a pass completed on play action on the first snap of the ball game, and that one blew up on him.
And remember, Tampa Bay's been one of the worst play action teams on first down in the league, so it was pretty obvious that Minnesota was going to attack him early, and a good play that time by Eric Wright.
Now the Vikings go back to an I backfield with Felton, the fullback.
Do it!
He'll lead the way for Adrian Peterson. Peterson, a couple of moves in the hole, spins his way out for almost 8 yards. Eric Wright made the stop. Wow. And just remarkable what Adrian Peterson's been able to do after major knee surgery. Injured that knee on Christmas Eve last year against the Redskins. And it's just almost unbelievable that he's back to this stage right now.
Yeah, he told us that, 4 months after surgery, he knew he was ready to go. And,
wow.
and Brad, by the way, Daquan Bowers activated today off the PUP list in for passing situations after a torn Achilles last May.
He's in there right now with Percy Harvin in motion. Ponder going to throw it out to Harvin, and he overshot him. And had he caught that, Rondé Barber might have lit him up anyway. So the Vikings are 3 and out.
Rondé Barber, obviously they're trying to get the football to Harvin any way they can. Cut block on Bowers, bad throw. 0 for 2, not a good start for a young quarterback with some potential confidence issues.
Roscoe Parrish, 7 years with Buffalo. Only played in a couple of games last year, but he is dangerous as a return man as well. He misplayed this one a little bit and takes a Tampa bounce. We got a penalty marker down at the 30-yard line. Only a 37-yard punt.
I think we might have a hold on one of the gunners going against Tampa Bay. Leslie Frazier, head coach of the Vikings.
Here's a call from Ron Winter.
Dirty kick. Holding number 29, receiving team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
See Leonard Johnson from Iowa State, the rookie. Not only did he hold him, he got him up in the face mask also.
That negates some pretty good field position and backs him up to the 20-yard line. And immediately the crowd at Mall of America Field comes to life for their defense. High backfield, Doug Martin, the rookie for Tampa Bay, the tailback. And he'll get the carry. And he only got a yard or two. Tampa Bay coming off a loss to New Orleans where they had a big lead on their 2-4 season, though, beating the Panthers in their season opener. Got off to a good start. And an NFC South battle. Lost their next 3 games by a combined 15 points. And all 4 of their losses by only 22 points total. Last week, very disappointing, but they really have showed offensively that they're in gear right now the last couple of weeks. Second down and 8. Michael Williams in motion. Play action bootleg for Freeman. Double clutches, throws complete for the Vikings are all over. Mike Williams maybe got a yard out of the deal.
Yeah, they were hoping off play action to take a vertical shot. That's how they get the football down the field. But Harrison Smith, the rookie first-round pick out of Notre Dame, was over top of the vertical route, and he had to check it down.
He's been an unbelievable addition to the Viking defense.
Everybody we talked to in their building talked about Harrison Smith, the difference it makes not just in the secondary, but the entire defense.
First third down of the ball game for Tampa. And they're only 29% on the season on their third down conversions. Freeman throws to the sideline. Williams broke his route off the pass way over his head, and it's 3 and out for Tampa.
You know, they ran Harrison Smith right under that route. Josh Freeman's got to see it. He can't watch Harrison Smith sprint underneath the route. I don't understand why Josh Freeman doesn't see it. He's double teamed. You can't throw this route. They've got him under and over. That plays counterfeit before the ball's even snapped.
Caney to punt. And that's Marcus Sherrills back deep for Minnesota. And he, like Percy Harvin, a dangerous return man in his own right. Great kick. It goes out of bounds. Maybe not so great. Depends on how far they walk up that sideline. No score early in Minneapolis between the Bucs and the Vikings. Second offensive series for the Vikings. And they'll start this time at the 33-yard line. First series at 3 and out and 2 incompletions by Christian Ponder. As Mike said, not the way they wanted to get their young quarterback off for the start tonight. Kyle Rudolph, the tight end, shifts to the right side, and on first down it's Adrian Peterson. And he moves the pile out for about 5 yards behind the offensive line for the Vikings that features a rookie at left tackle. That's a tough spot, but he's done a great job with it. Khalil Johnson, Sullivan, Fusco, and Lodeholt. Backs and receivers for Minnesota. Felton, the fullback, Peterson, the tailback, Harvin and Simpson, the wideouts, and Rudolph, the tight end. Right now, Minnesota goes to 3 wide receivers. Those Michael Jenkins joins the group. Second down and 5 for Ponder in the shotgun. Going to throw it deep down the sideline, and his receiver broke his pattern off, and E.J. Biggers had a better play on the ball than anybody else.
And that's the concern with Jerome Simpson, number 81 for the Vikings. He's a wonderfully gifted guy. Now, against press coverage, he's going to run a fade. But E.J. Biggers went press bail, meaning press. He bailed out early, and I give the wide receiver Simpson credit that time for breaking the route.
This time he comes to the near side on 3rd down and 5. Bucs bring everybody up close, and they bring the heat on Ponder. He's trying to get rid of it. Does. But just threw it away. Had to. Rondé Barber coming on the blitz, among others.
Ugly start, I'll tell you. You're going to see 2 Buck players come through the same hole. Watch here, and then right behind. Come down, they miss both of them. Left tackle comes down, that's the rookie, Matt Khalil. Charlie Johnson, the guard, stepped down. That was a pass protection bust. Ponder had no chance.
So, another 3 and out, Minnesota. Kluwe set to punt again. Now this one's off the side of his foot.
Boy.
And that one looked about as bad as the first 2 series for Minnesota. And the Boo Birds are already out.
UGLY, you ain't got no alibi.
Whoa.
It's ugly.
11:36 remaining first quarter. 20-yard punt. Christian Ponder off to a bad start. The Bucs on offense when we come back. On Sundays, NFL Network brings you everything you need to know from sunrise through the final gun on Sunday night. Starts with First on the Field, 7 a.m. Eastern, with live reports from all the game sites, 9 to 1. Game day morning prepares you for all the Sunday games with the most complete information and analysis anywhere. And at 4, we break down the early games for you. Game day scoreboard, recap all the day's action on game day highlights at 7:30, and finally Sunday final. Game day final at 11:30 for all the highlights, live reports from the Sunday night football game, and more. Sunday is game day on NFL Network. In this case, Thursday night football on NFL Network. And the Bucs picked up about 22 yards on that exchange of punts, and they've got good field position working from their own 42-yard line. Freeman off play action. Stands tall, goes over the middle, and it's dropped, incomplete. Doug Martin, the rookie tailback, doesn't hold it.
So far, we haven't seen real crisp play at the quarterback position. That time the ball was thrown behind the tailback, Doug Martin, who was wide open. Got 2 young quarterbacks, Brad, I think are all juiced up tonight. You just need to calm down a little bit.
They're combined 1 for 7 right now between Freeman and Christian Ponder. 2nd down and 10. Draw play. Martin trying to weave his way through traffic, and does. Across midfield. Martin down the sideline. All the way inside the 20. Chris Cook ran him down, or it might have been a touchdown.
I think Doug Martin runs this play as well as any young rookie I've seen in a long time. Watch Laurie go on the lead draw. The fullback gets up in the hole, and now watch the hesitation and the cut. Cuts off Laurie all the way back to his left. Now has the speed and the acceleration to get to the sidelines. Remember, Tampa Bay took Mark Barron in the top 10, then traded back up into the first round to take that young man, and he's played exceptionally well for the Buccaneers.
So the Boise State rookie gets a breather, but he picked up a career-long 41 yards to the Minnesota 17. Freeman now in an empty backfield. Over the middle this time, he throws a strike, complete, down to the 10-yard line to Underwood. Pickup of 7.
Underwood's an interesting story. He played for Greg Schiano at Rutgers and came in as a free agent to camp this summer, and they cut him on the final cut. Couple of injuries. He comes back later, and remember, he runs 4.35.
And he'd run even faster if he didn't have that hairdo that he's got.
His hairdo is a little amazing. We'll get a peek at that later.
2nd down and 3, just outside the Viking 10. 2 tight ends set for the Bucs here. Threatening on their second possession. That's Williams in motion. The quick throw is batted down by Minnesota. Robinson got a hand on it.
I really like the development of Brian Robinson. His 6th year out of Texas. Coming off the edge here, working against DeMar Dotson. Sees the 3-step. Nice job understanding what's happening. Somebody's got to cut him. I think Dotson's got to come out and cut him right in the knees and get those hands down.
Vikings would like to force a field goal attempt. And Minnesota takes a timeout. So both sides will have time to talk about this upcoming third down. 9:55, first quarter, scoreless. Tonight's aerial coverage is being presented by Southwest Airlines. So you're looking at Minneapolis, Minnesota. My mom used to say crisp and clear. It went from about 75 2 days ago to snowing today.
And nobody would know the weather like a native like you.
There you go. Red zone offense has been pretty good for Tampa Bay. They got a third down and 3 just outside the Minnesota 10. Freeman looks left, goes to the corner of the end zone. Overshot Mike Williams, who was looking for a flag and doesn't get one. So that's a win of sorts for the Viking defense as they'll force a field goal after that long run by Martin.
Good job by Chris Cook, the corner, third-year guy out of Virginia. Takes away the inside, then runs underneath. I like the fact that he got his head on a swivel, took a peek. Mike Williams wanted a call, but no way. That was really good coverage by Chris Cook.
Connor Barth hasn't missed inside 40 in a long time. This one will be from 28 yards out. Caney to hold. The snap was high, but he got it down, and the kick's good. So 9:48 remaining in the first quarter. Tampa Bay gets on the board first. Minnesota trying to find their offense. We'll see if Adrian Peterson and company can find some when we come back. So the drive for Tampa Bay, they didn't have to go far. 48 yards in 6 plays. The key play, the 41-yard run by Doug Martin that got him down in field goal range. The Vikings so far, first 2 series, 6 plays, 13 yards. Not good.
Nope. 2 3 and outs. I think you're going to see a lot of Adrian Peterson coming up.
And again, both these kickers don't give a lot of chances to the return man. Let's check in third member of our team, Alex Flanagan. Alex.
Hey, Brad, well, right behind me, you can see the defensive end, Daquan Bowers, who just hours ago was activated off the physically unable to perform list. As Mike mentioned, he suffered an Achilles tear back in May. I spoke to him before this game. He said he was very anxious to get back on the field. He could be kind of one of the missing pieces of the puzzle for Tampa Bay's defense. As you guys know, second-year player out of Clemson. If there's one thing he can do well, it is get after the quarterback and sack him.
And they've already put some good pressure on Christian Ponder tonight. Adrian Peterson. And Peterson goes for 4. They'll bring up second down and 6. Tampa Bay also without Adrian Claiborne, of course, one of their stars on the defensive front. But here's who they do have. And the linebacking core with a rookie in there out of Nebraska and a good one. And on the back end, the ageless wonder, Rondé Barber, 37 years young.
We've got 2 future Hall of Fame defensive backs in this game between Winfield and Barber, and I'm just amazed at how well they're playing at ages 35 and 7.
Percy Harvin in the backfield gets the carry, but he's not going anywhere. Roy Miller, one of those defensive tackles, made the stop on a loss of 1.
I'm really impressed with Roy Miller and how he's played. He's going to play this tilt nose and be able to get across. And they're one of the defenses. He crosses the face of Sullivan, which can't happen. They're one of the slanting fronts in football. And Brad, they've got 28 negative runs on the season. That's number 1 in the NFL. It's because they move their front so aggressively. And there's the right tackle load hole jumping off.
The Vikings making it tough on themselves.
Full start. Offense number 7. A 5-yard penalty. It remains third down.
Brad, you know, we were talking about Roy Miller, the nose tackle, and you know who he reminds me a little bit of is Jay Ratliff in his prime in Dallas. Kind of an undersized, quick nose tackle that gets up the field and makes plays. He's really been active the last year and a half.
Since he came into the league, there's no defensive tackles in the league that have had more tackles than he has.
And next to him is Gerald McCoy, when healthy, one of the better defensive tackles in football.
3rd and a dozen for Minnesota. Ponder rolls, throws, incomplete. Michael Jenkins, the intended receiver. And as Leonard Johnson on the coverage. Oh, it's not going so well for Christian Ponder here early in the first quarter.
Yeah, nobody's open. Jerome Simpson, who's the guy that's got to find a way to win one-on-one. Look at the coverage in here. He was not looking at Harvin. He was going the other way. He was looking to this side right here. You see Michael Jenkins like Velcro. The tight end like Velcro. Somebody's got to win against man-to-man or your rookie quarterback's in trouble.
Kluwe's last punt was a dud. He's inside his own 5-yard line. And that'll blow this dead.
Man.
False start. Offense number 55. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Marvin Mitchell with a penalty, and now Kluwe's going to be punting from his own end zone. And Tampa Bay got pretty good pressure on him the last time. If I'm Kluwe, I get this and kick it. Roscoe Parrish back inside his 30. And you look at Kluwe from behind. Again, not the greatest punt. Parrish takes it on the fly and dropped it. Let's see who's got it. Right near midfield. If they ever get him unpiled, we'll know.
I thought Andrew Sendejo had a shot at that, number 34 for the Vikings. Don't know if he ultimately got it, or who knows, at the bottom of that pile, it could have changed hands 3 times.
Tampa Bay ball.
Boy, just a poor job judging the football. Part of the ball hit him in the face mask. There it is, loose. I thought Sendejo had it, but he lost it. Really good job. I didn't see who came up with that.
I think Parrish actually came back up with it.
Well, if you're going to fumble it, you might as well get on it.
Exactly. We'll give him a couple of yards on the return that way. In Minnesota territory at the 48-yard line.
And that's not a guy you really want to be answering to on the sidelines either. No. Greg Schiano's a stickler for fundamentals.
Would the Bucs take a shot here from the 48 on 1st down? They might, if he gets a chance. High, incomplete, and then leveled after that incompletion.
Yeah, he had an opportunity to get that football to Vincent Jackson, but the pressure of Christian Ballard forced him to try and check it down. 2 young quarterbacks that are kind of struggling, hanging in the pocket and making decisions.
Josh Freeman, who had his best year 2 seasons ago when he threw for almost 3,500 yards, had 25 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. And then, as Mike said earlier, he regressed last year, trying to put it back, the pieces back together here in 2012. Draw play, no gain. Fred Evans made the first contact, and Chad Greenway cleaned up.
Fred Evans and Christian Ballard, who are part of the defensive line wave. See a little X stunt there. Greenway comes out. Jared Allen goes in, but the play was really made by Fred Evans.
So far, these 2 teams are a combined 0 for 5 on 3rd down. Buccaneers 3rd and 10. 4 wideouts for Josh Freeman in the shotgun. Got leveled as he threw, but it's complete downfield to Vincent Jackson.
And I think Harrison Smith had a chance to make a play. See the pressure coming. You step up into the pocket. He takes a hit from Everson Griffin, but the ball's in the air. What happens is Harrison Smith tries to play behind. He goes behind thinking he's going to get the ball, but Vincent Jackson elevates so high he doesn't get a chance to get it. I think he's got to come in front of that ball.
Amazing how much he got on that pass. A big, strong guy. Otherwise, that thing's a lame duck out there in the middle of the field.
No doubt about it, and a great athletic catch by Jackson.
1st down at the 22. Tampa Bay leading by 3. Here's a stretch play to LeGarrette Blount. And Blount gets to the 20. As we're under 6.5 minutes 1st quarter, absolutely nothing's gone right for the Vikings so far, and Tampa Bay's got something working again here on offense.
Brad, we talked a little bit about how this Tampa team's better than their record might indicate, and there's been a complete culture change in their building. Greg Schiano comes in, and we did a game a year ago with Tampa Bay, and at that point in the season, a lot of the team had basically given up. Greg Schiano's a tough guy. There's a whole new program here. There's a new sheriff in town, and he's at the far end of the discipline scale, and the accountability is completely different this year.
Freeman on 2nd and 8. Got a man wide open in the flat. Minnesota meets Doug Martin, but he's going to pick up a first down. Yeah, to say that Greg Schiano is no nonsense would be a major understatement.
Yeah, and this is something that I think makes some sense here. A lot of pressure, check the football down. And I think a big difference in this Tampa Bay team is the ability of Doug Martin. Last week against New Orleans, he had 19 touches for 112, and he's really good coming out of the backfield and catching the football.
It's his 14th catch of the season out of that backfield. And it gives Tampa Bay a 1st and 10 just outside the Minnesota 11. Now it's a draw play. No gain on this one. Sanford from the secondary came up to make the first hit.
Brad, you mentioned earlier the numbers on Tampa Bay's offense in the red zone. They've been one of the best red zone teams in the league. Last time they got in the red zone, Minnesota forced a field goal. And the way that Minnesota's playing offensively, their defense has got to do that again here.
You're right. 2nd down and 10. 2 tight end set for the Bucs.
And Stocker's going out wide, and now you got Winfield on Stocker. That's a waste of Winfield. Tells you they're probably going to be in zone.
Freeman fires to the end zone. Caught at about the 1 by Dallas Clark, the other tight end.
Boy, that was a really good job by the quarterback. Good protection and an excellent read by Freeman. His inline tight end is going to read zone and sit down. Freeman gets good protection as they slide it to the right. He sees and drives the ball. Excellent job by both the offensive line in their protection scheme and the quarterback identifying the open receiver in zone.
1st and goal at the 1-yard line. They had a situation like this last week and couldn't convert in their loss to New Orleans.
Yeah, they got pushed back badly last week in that goal line stand. Their offensive line got stood up and pushed back.
Play action. The lob to the corner, touchdown. Eric Lorig, the fullback.
Really like the call. Really like the call by offensive coordinator Mike Sullivan. Struggled last week in short yardage. You've got a very aggressive defense, so use their aggression against them. Lorig off play action is coming here and then going out in the flat. Watch the linebackers in the secondary. Everybody's running in. Brad Nessler could have made that throw.
1-yard touchdown throw, capping a 48-yard drive in 8 plays, a little over 4.5 minutes for Tampa Bay. And for Josh Freeman, his 12th scoring toss of the year. Barth's extra point is good. Minnesota getting hammered here in the first quarter on their home field. Josh Freeman to his fullback. 10-0 Buccaneers. Former defensive player at Stanford. That's his first NFL touchdown. Does a little sit down there in the corner. Wake up with NFL AM, the only morning show dedicated to the NFL. Tomorrow morning, complete highlights and reaction from the players in tonight's games. And as always, we'll wake you up with a first look at the latest NFL news, info, and highlights. Don't miss NFL AM tomorrow and every weekday, 6 a.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network. Percy Harvin hasn't been able to touch it as a kick returner so far.
Or as an offensive player.
Or as an offensive player. Had 1 rush for almost nothing. Catches this one in the back of the end zone. 3 kickoffs, 3 touchbacks. Frustrating for a guy that's that good of a return man. So Josh Freeman caps off a 48-yard drive with a touchdown. 6 out of 11 so far. He was 4 for 4 in that drive to 4 different receivers. So far, Christian Ponder has got an 0 for going.
Yeah, let's get Bill Sheridan, the defensive coordinator for Tampa Bay, some credit so far. But if you're a Minnesota fan, you've got to get 12 and 28 involved. Harvin and Peterson. It's easy to get Peterson involved because all you can do is turn around and hand it to him.
Which they do. Peterson across the 30. And a first down run by Adrian Peterson.
Really good job by the rookie first-round pick, Matt Khalil. Watch him collapse this down, and then Percy Harvin's going to come in and get a piece also. The cutback behind Khalil. Now Mark Barron, the first-round pick, misses him. Percy Harvin gets a block on the corner, and this guy is just ridiculously good.
He is.
I don't even have the words, Brad.
A lot of people don't. First down for Minnesota. Go back to the same guy, and Adrian Peterson into the secondary again. 11 on the first carry, 11 on the next one.
He's one of the angriest runners I've ever seen. He reminds me of being a little kid and seeing Jim Brown for the Cleveland Browns. And I'm serious. He's got breakaway speed, but he's angry. All you get are elbows, knees. You don't get a chance of getting a good shot on this guy.
He's going to get a shot on you, too, at the end of every run. Back-to-back first downs. Play action. Ponder's going to take off with it. Will be brought down after a short gain.
A good job by E.J. Biggers, and what a surprise. The guys in our truck actually have a little Jim Brown lined up for us.
Here's what you're talking about, running angry.
Yeah, I mean, NFL films, when I hear that music, look at this guy run angry. Remember, track star, lacrosse star, Adrian Peterson, yeah, a little angry.
I think Adrian would like that comparison.
I think anybody would, right?
Quick slant, it's high, but it's caught. And the ball comes out, fumble. Tampa's got it. The Bucs take over. Mason Foster, the linebacker's got it. And Jerome Simpson's the one that coughed it up.
They're trying to force feed Jerome Simpson because he's such a physically gifted kid. Working on Biggers. The ball's high. Now, he's got the football and it's stripped. I think it was Rondé Barber that stripped it. Mason Foster comes up with it. But Jerome Simpson, if you want to play in this league, and remember, Cincinnati already let him go. He's a wonderfully physical specimen, but he's not consistent.
Originally, second-round draft choice of the Bengals in 08 was the number 46 overall choice. And Tampa Bay looking to take command here in the first quarter, already leading by 10.
I'd be worried about a shot here if I was the play-action shot.
They wanted to do that the last time they got the ball. That was in Minnesota territory. This is at their own 46. It'll be a counter to Martin following his blockers. He puts his head down and rumbles for a first down.
DeMar Dotson, the right tackle, took over that job from Jeremy Trueblood in week 2. So you're going to see the tackle actually pull out on the counter, as you said, Brad. And again, for a young guy, I'm really surprised. Excuse me, that was Mark Meredith, not Dotson. For a young running back, I'm really surprised at how patient Martin is. Let the hole develop, and when he saw it, man, it's patience to the hole, accelerate through the hole, and that's what Doug Martin did that time.
Buccaneers back in Viking territory at the 42-yard line with another first down, and already 55 yards on the ground for Martin. Here he comes on the draw. Cuts through inside the 40. Tough run down to the 35. I said to Greg Schiano yesterday, there's a little bit of Ray in him, meaning Ray Rice, who Greg had at Rutgers, and he said, he just smiled at us and said, I got to quit making that comparison, because that's a pretty tough thing for a kid to live up to, but he's got a little bit of that, doesn't he?
When he came out in last year's draft, the two guys who were in my head, Brad, were Ray Rice, and then the ultimate 22 comparison, Emmitt Smith. Built similarly, an ability to jump, cut laterally, toughness. I don't want to put him in that category. Obviously, he's a young man, but he's got a lot of ability.
We have no idea whether he can dance as well as Emmitt. Second down, long 2. And that one's thrown right into Robinson, who would have had an interception. Second time he's knocked one down tonight, and that one hit him right between the 9 and the 6, I think.
Yeah, if you're going to throw 3-step to that side, you've got to cut him. You can't go right at his knees, get his hands down. And it hit him between the 9 and the 6. DeMar Dotson's got to do a much better job than that effort. Now let's give Robinson some credit. Does a nice job fending it off and still getting up in the air. He's got more passes knocked down than any defensive back in this game.
Third down and a long 2. Jared Allen saying we're a guy short. They finally hustle out Aaron Henderson. And now timeout taken. So Tampa Bay takes its first timeout with Maybe one play remaining in the first quarter. This is a very, very important third down coming up for the Vikings. They've held once and forced a field goal. Last time down, Tampa Bay got it down to first and goal, and they went play action. Didn't worry about what they did last week against New Orleans, not being able to get it in the end zone. But Minnesota can't afford to give up another touchdown here.
No, and they've been sloppy. Let's face it, the punt game off the side of the foot. Ponder has been sloppy. Simpson puts the ball on the ground, and the flip side is Tampa's taking advantage of it. And I really like that last drive by Tampa Bay. I thought their quarterback Freeman calmed down, made good decisions and throws.
Well, right now he's got a third down and a long 2. Four receivers set. Freeman gives it off inside. This is going to be close. Doug Martin, he's right about at the first down line. We'll find out if that's a first down or not. We played a quarter dominated by Tampa Bay on the road. Vikings trailing in their home building 10-0 at the end of one. Verizon get live streaming of tonight's game as well as Sunday and Monday night games. Every touchdown from every game Sunday afternoon with NFL Red Zone, NFL Network coverage, and more. Call ** NFL to download NFL Mobile or go to bzw.com/NFL to learn more. Start of the second quarter. Brad Nessler, Mike Mayock, Alex Flanagan. Mall of America Field at the Metrodome in Minneapolis, where the Vikings shut out in the first quarter. And Tampa Bay did get a first down on that last play of quarter number 1. Martin out of the 28. Aaron Henderson made the stop, pick up a 4.
Kid's got 8 carries for 69 yards, and I really like what Mark Dominic and Greg Schiano did on draft day. They took the 5th overall pick, traded it to Jacksonville for the 7th. There they took Mark Barron. Then they traded their 2nd and 4th round picks to get back up into the first round, and at 31 they get Doug Martin. And they hit 2 home runs with those picks. Martin now 8 carries for 69, and he's really carrying the load for them offensively.
Vikings did something similar, getting Harrison Smith and Khalil, the left tackle. 2 rookies that are starting. Freeman fires, completes. Underwood down to the 20. Pickup of 8 more. Robinson got back there to make the stop, but they moved the sticks.
Yeah, a real spacing problem there in the zone. I think Antoine Winfield jumped the inside route that Dallas Clark had, and there was a huge amount of space between the sub, Winfield, and the corner.
Freeman's mixing it up pretty good right now, Mike. 7 completions, 6 different receivers.
And he started out shaky, if you remember.
Yeah.
So take a shot soon.
Just outside the Minnesota 20. And flags fly.
False start. Offense number 22. A 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Doug Martin, the rookie, with the penalty.
Yeah, he flinched. He knew it too. That's again, play had his head down. Rookie mistake.
He'll come out as it'll be 1st and 15 outside the 25. Ben and Jackson, the wide receivers. And they'll both split out to the left side. Fake the end around to Ben. Now Freeman looking for a receiver. Fires for Ben. Incomplete. Nice job by Minnesota's Antoine Winfield to stay home and make the play.
Brad, they were looking to take a shot there. That was really interesting. They wanted Eric Lorig, the fullback. Believe it or not, they're going to take Lorig and run him in a wheel route after they fake the reverse. Fake inside. There's the fake to Aurelius Ben, and here's the route they wanted. That's great coverage by the Vikings. They were in zone, well disciplined by Alan Williams' bunch on the defensive back end, and Winfield breaks up the throw to Ben.
Not sure Lorig thought he was going to be the primary receiver so much tonight. 2nd and 15. Freeman throws another one-hopper, incompletes, intended for Mike Williams. That'll be 3rd down and long.
Another disconnect between quarterback and wide receiver. Vikings really happy with Chris Cook and his development. Mike Sullivan, the former quarterbacks coach of the New York Giants, made an interesting comparison last night to the development of Josh Freeman with the development of Eli Manning. And I thought it was kind of, he said in 2010, Eli came off a season where he threw a lot of interceptions, had a chip on his shoulder. He felt like this kid was very similar in the offseason.
9th play of the drive, but 3rd down and a whole bunch. Freeman pressured from the backside. Pocket collapsing. He'll take off and slide to a stop around the 20. And the Vikings will force another field goal attempt.
Yeah, really good pressure by Robinson, and the defensive tackle that side, Kevin Williams, forced him out of the pocket. I was starting to talk about Robinson earlier out of Texas. He came here as a special teams player, and that's all he did. Then they worked him into the sub package, and he developed into a pretty good pass rusher. And now he's developed into the full-time starter, and that's what I mean by the progression of a middle-round draft pick who's turning into a starter, become a good football player.
Barth 35 straight from 40 and in. This one is from 40. And he's perfect again. Tampa Bay adds 3 more. Minnesota's dug themselves a hole. Tampa Bay on the road trying to snap a long road losing streak, and they're off to a pretty good start. 13-0 Bucs. There's our man, Taquan Underwood. I'm telling you, you could land a small helicopter on that hairdo.
He's like 6'7" with that do, and I think he runs 4.19 without it.
Percy Harvin, will he get a shot? Nope. Back of the end zone again, and Minnesota has to start again at its own 20-yard line with 12:20 remaining in the first half. Doug Martin's been sensational so far. The rookie tailback with a big run that set up a field goal. Freeman mixing it up. 6 different receivers among those 7 completions. Christian Ponder 1 completion, and then Jerome Simpson fumbled it after he caught it.
Yep.
So 13-0 Tampa Bay, and Minnesota has done nothing on offense so far.
You know, Minnesota's fortunate it's only 13.
You're right.
They were in the red zone 3 times.
Adrian Peterson's had a couple runs of double digits, but that's about it. Quick throw on a screen to Percy Harvin. Harvin with a blocker in front. Percy's down the sideline inside the 50. And finally Minnesota comes up with a big play on offense. Pickup of 32.
I think it was Michael Jenkins that got the key block at the point of attack. Bubble screen to Harvin. You've got to get the football in his hands. The fake. Now look at 84 out in front right there. That's the key block. And then look at Matt Khalil, 75. There's the first block right here. Beautiful. Now, once you get up in the hole, look at Khalil, the first-round pick. He's running 4.95 and getting a block 30 yards down the field.
Minnesota in Tampa Bay territory. Peterson inside the 40, down to the 37.
That's a pretty good one-on-one tackle by Rondé Barber because, you know, the Red Sea's parted and Adrian Peterson's coming downhill on top of Rondé Barber. Watch him get here and watch Rondé one-on-one. Really good block by Charles Johnson. Rondé Barber one-on-one in the open field. That's a veteran right there. That's a heck of a tackle by Rondé Barber. Adrian Peterson in his career averaging 4.8 a carry. He's had 3 runs of 11 yards in this first half. Here's a slant, and that's blown up as Ponder goes down, trying to make the throw. Now I think they're going to get Roy Miller with a hand to Ponder's face. It wasn't vicious, but you know how we're protecting quarterbacks these days in the NFL.
Roughing the passer. Defense number 90. Contact to the head and neck area of the quarterback.
You see number 90, Roy Miller, the left hand right there to the face mask. Anytime you get up around a quarterback's helmet, it's going to get called. Again, not vicious, but that's going to get called 100% of the time. So a quick pass to Percy Harvin that he turns into a big play. Adrian Peterson for 11 yards, and now a penalty's got the Vikings set up at the Tampa Bay 22-yard line. Their deepest penetration of the first half. Play action bootleg. Ponder throws complete. Ellison, the tight end's got it inside the 20, pick up a 5. Ellison's one of my favorite people that Minnesota drafted this year. By the way, they've had a really good draft, but Ellison, who was a 4th-round pick out of USC, I call him a point-of-attack player. Doesn't matter whether he's lined up at fullback tight end, H-back. If you follow him, you're probably going to come to the football. He does all the dirty work, and he does it well.
Second down and 5. Minnesota in the red zone for the first time tonight. Peterson trying to break a tackle in the backfield and lost a yard that time. In fact, he lost a couple, but he doesn't lose many. And as I mentioned, in his career, a brilliant career that has him as Minnesota's all-time leading rusher. Look at some of the guys in NFL history that he's in the same league with. Joe Perry, Barry Sanders, and Jim Brown, who we mentioned twice tonight. Jim, if you're watching, you're making the broadcast on Thursday Night Football.
Let's face it, he earned it.
That's right, he did.
Kidding me?
This is the biggest third down of the ball game for the Vikings. Third down and 6.
Interesting matchup here. The safety Barron on the tight end Rudolph.
Ponder, the fade to the corner, caught. Harvin, touchdown.
Better matchup there. This is Percy Harvin out of the slot. He's on Eric Wright. Man coverage. Man-to-man coverage. The outside receiver is going to squat, giving him all the room to go to the corner. Ball's thrown perfectly over Eric Wright and drops it in the bucket over the shoulder. Nice catch. Wonderful concentration. And Brad Nessler, I think we've got a football game.
I believe you're correct, sir. Extra point from Blair Walsh upcoming. Kick is good. The Minnesota offense comes to life in the second quarter and goes 80 yards in 5 plays in 2 minutes and 41 seconds. And number 12, Percy Harvin, on the end for his 3rd touchdown catch of the year. 13-7 Buccaneers.
Recognition, single high safety. He knows he's got man coverage out here, and you're going to take advantage of Percy Harvin on right. Got the whole half of the field to work with, so the pre-snap recognition by the quarterback was great. The throw was even better, and I love the concentration by Harvin to finish the play.
That's the longest touchdown pass for Ponder this year. Hadn't had one over 15 yards. That one 18 yards to put the Vikings back in it. Walsh kick. This one is returnable. Well, maybe not. Going to a knee is Ben, and they'll bring it out to the 20. Sundays, wake up with First on the Field and NFL Game Day morning. This Sunday on First on the Field, RG3 sits down with Melissa Stark to talk about the Redskins' big matchup with the Steelers. And on Game Day morning, will the Cowboys knock off the Giants again? Our expert team weighs in. First on the Field and Game Day morning all starts Sunday, 7 a.m. Eastern on NFL Network. So Freeman, who's got a touchdown pass to his credit tonight, has been answered by Christian Ponder now. And the Tampa Bay lead cut to 6. Jared Allen and company in their track stances. Play action. Freeman throws it. It's batted down by Robinson for the 3rd time tonight.
Brian Robinson is just having a night here. Again, it's going to be play action. Robinson has great discipline, keeps his shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage. I remember him at the combine. He had a great vertical, and he shows it to you right there.
He's going to catch one of these if Freeman keeps throwing it in his direction.
It's like that J.J. Watt interception in the playoff game last year against Houston.
Robinson had 3 sacks in Minnesota's win over Arizona last week. Tonight he's got 3 batted down passes. Martin, did he get popped in the hole by Jasper Brinkley.
Really nice job by the linebacker coming downhill. Boy, he did a great job getting off Carl Nix. There's an energy in the building now, Brad.
Yes, there is.
You know, 13-0. Everybody's sitting on their stools there, and now people are going crazy.
Josh Freeman has missed 4 of his last 5 passes. You saw what they have done on their first 4 possessions, and now Minnesota hoping it's another punt coming up. 3rd down and 7.
Now you know Minnesota's bringing pass rush right now. I'd be alert, screen.
Freeman, quick heat, and there it was, and it's incomplete.
You know, if you're Ware, the tailback, DJ Ware, you got to get a little better piece of the defensive end to give your quarterback time. He's going to chip and get out to the flat for the screen. Okay, so here's where, when you chip, you got to get a piece to give your quarterback a chance. Jared Allen comes so quickly. Freeman's got to throw the football, and they're not ready for that little tailback peekaboo screen.
Marcus Sherrills waits on Cannon's punt. Flags down immediately. Sherrills trying to return this. Weaves his way down the sideline. Nice return. But again, penalty markers on the play as he got it out to the 38-yard line. 54-yard punt, but 19 yards on the return.
He's so quick. He had a 77-yard touchdown return against Detroit that was a key play in the game and helped them beat the Lions.
They had a kickoff and a punt return in that game.
That's right.
During the kick, personal foul. Number 20 went out of bounds and blocked the opponent. 15-yard penalty. First down.
8:37. First half. Minnesota trailing. They'll have the ball when we come back. Well, a penalty on Minnesota backs them way up inside their own 15-yard line.
It's Chris Cook, number 20, working on Leonard Johnson. Once Johnson goes out of bounds, you can't touch him. Right there. That's a penalty. You give the shove, it's a good call. You've got to allow him to re-enter the field of play, and then you can attack him.
Vikings lost over 30 yards due to that penalty, and they start at their own 13. Ponder, quick throw out in the flat again. Percy Harvin got it out to the 18. Now they're using that little swing pass. Anything they can do to get it in number 12's hands.
You've got to find creative ways to get the football to him. We talked to offensive coordinator Bill Musgrave yesterday, and he's averaging 10 touches a game outside of the kick game. And it's got to be at least 10 the way I look at it. They line him up at tailback. They've gotten the football to him out wide. He's easily one of the most explosive players in the National Football League.
Second down at 6 at the 8-minute mark, second quarter. Rudolph switches over to the right side. He hasn't caught a ball yet tonight. Deep ball by Ponder to the sideline. Incomplete. Simpson would have been out of bounds had he been able to hold on to it.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson's got to do a better job of pass protection. He let Mark Barron right into the face of the quarterback. The ball was really well thrown.
Sure was. Simpson
lets it goes right through the window. Watch Peterson here. That's a safety. You can't let him cross your face inside and affect your quarterback.
And even with that, on the second look, he should have had it.
Yeah, he should have had it. The trick would have been staying in bounds, but that was a remarkably accurate throw for a quarterback under pressure.
So third down at 6. And Ponder in the gun. Here come the Buccaneers. Ponder throws out in the flat to Percy Harvin. He's got a first down out near the 30.
You know what? That time, Adrian Peterson does a heck of a job in pass protection. They've got an overload here. Watch Peterson cross the face of the quarterback, pick up the blitz, and allow the quarterback Ponder to get rid of the football. There's Mark Barron. He picks him up. It allows the quarterback to step into the pocket and deliver an accurate pass. And once again, it's number 12 on the receiving end of it.
Ready.
He's part of a bunch package up on the right-hand side, but it's back to Adrian Peterson spinning his way. Lost the ball. Tampa's got it, I think. Peterson on that last spin move trying to get some extra yardage, and he lost the football, and the Buccaneers have it.
Yeah, it's Rondé Barber, I think, who's stripping him at the end of this play. Really well blocked by Sullivan, the center. Now watch Barron with the hit. Here comes the spin, and 20 right there. You see him? That's exactly it. Rondé Barber rips it out with his right hand. Wow. 2 turnovers by the Vikings, and that's the one thing Adrian Peterson has improved since he's been in the league, is he was a fumbler his first couple years, and he's largely taken care of that.
So an opportunity here for the Bucs, and you see what Mike was talking about. He's really done a good job of holding on to the ball recently, and they're going to take a shot, maybe. Nope, they come down and check down to the wide receiver, who's Doug Martin, actually the tailback, and it's incomplete. So again, with Tampa Bay starting in Minnesota territory, the Vikings right now are hoping they can either come up with a stop or force another field goal.
Yeah, the turnover differential, more than any other statistic in all of football besides points scored, is the most relevant. Vikings have lost 2 fumbles already.
They came in -1, and Tampa Bay was +4, and that's continuing to go that way.
Exactly. Ironic that the team that's 5-2 is -1 in the turnover differential.
Second down at 10. Here's a stretch play to Martin. Got through the first wave. Down the sideline is Martin, and he's got a first down near the 20-yard line.
Stretch play, your tackle's got to make a block, which is Donald Penn here, and then you're going to see the fullback Lorig come over also. Donald Penn does a nice job kicking out Griffin. The correct cut is made into the hole. There's the acceleration through the tackle by Chad Greenway, who's a pretty good tackler. Look how strong he is. Runs through the arm tackle. I'm really impressed with this young man.
Me too. Gets it down to the 21. Tampa Bay with a first down. 6:40 remaining in the half. Looking to add to their 6-point lead. Play action. Freeman over the middle. Got his fullback, or rather his tight end, Dallas Clark. And Clark with a catch inside the 10. Another first down.
A little play action pop pass. They go play action to the left, and then the tight end comes right down here behind the linebackers and in front of Harrison Smith. As soon as those linebackers take 2 steps up, it's all over, and Smith comes late, and he's got to make a better hit than that. See, he throws the shoulder pads at him, but you got to wrap up and make a hit.
Dallas Clark gets it down after 9 years with the Colts. First and goal for Martin, and he's down to the 2.
And they're chewing him up.
Chad Greenway made the tackle, but Tampa Bay, their offense in gear and looking to add more after that fumble by Adrian Peterson.
Carl Nix, the left guard they acquired in the offseason, got up the field to the second level. Laurie got a block again, the fullback, and they're just chopping them up.
Third red zone drive tonight. They've already got 10 points in the red zone. Martin, their rookie's got 93 yards on the ground. He's in there behind the fullback Lorig on second down and goal. Clark in motion. It's Martin behind Lorig, and he doesn't get there. Might have lost a yard. Fred Evans, Submarines in there to make the stop.
You called it exactly right. Fred Evans is going to beat the guard, Carl Nix. Really tough for Nix to get the cutoff block right here, and a good job by Fred Evans. Explodes through, stays on his feet even though he's being held. He causes the play to be made.
This place is going to get really noisy right here on third down and goal, and it'll either get quiet quickly and it'll mean a Tampa Bay touchdown, or if Minnesota's defense holds and forces a field goal, it'll stay noisy.
They're letting the clock wind down. Timeout they're going to call, I believe.
Tampa Bay takes its second timeout. They'll have a third down and goal, trying to take advantage of Adrian Peterson's fumble when we come back. You think about all the interceptions and sacks Rondé Barber's had over his 16-year career, and he's got 2 forced fumbles in this first half. The most recent stripping Adrian Peterson of the ball and giving the Buccaneers another opportunity to score. They've worked their way down to the 3-yard line. That's where we are right now, third and goal, Tampa Bay. Freeman has thrown a short touchdown pass to the fullback Lorig tonight. And their other 2 drives ended in field goals. Minnesota hoping to force another field goal here. Freeman asking for the football. Finally gets it. Looks to Williams in the corner. Got it. Touchdown. Wow.
What a great throw and catch. And I love that Freeman identified the single receiver on the backside. Look at him go up and out jump the rookie corner. Both feet down. Does he control it through the ground? That was Josh Robinson, the rookie from Central Florida, and Mike Williams. That's a great catch. And I love the throw by Josh Freeman.
So they do take advantage of the fumble and about to make it 20-7 with 4.5 minutes remaining in the half. Minnesota, with the way Christian Ponder's been struggling, not built to be a big come-from-behind team, but they're going to have to do that in this quarter and the second half as well.
I think they still have to be patient, Brad. You know, I mean, there's plenty of time left in this football game. And again, what I like by Josh Freeman here is, look, they've got 3 receivers up top. He's got a guaranteed one-on-one down the bottom against a rookie from the University of Central Florida. And I love the fact that, A, he identified it, and B, it was a great throw and catch.
Couldn't do it much better. Connor Barth in for the point after. High snap. Somebody got a piece of that, and he still got the extra point to go through. Tampa Bay with 10 points off 2 Minnesota turnovers. And they only had to go a short distance, 37 yards following that fumble in 6 plays to get the touchdown. After tonight, a reminder for you, we've got 6 more Thursday night football games. And next Thursday, we'll be in San Diego. Mike, Alex, and I will be out there to bring you the action. Rich and all the guys as well. Chargers and Chiefs next Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern on NFL Network.
That AFC West, man, wide open, huh?
No kidding. There's only 3 teams in the AFC that even have plus 500 records, and there's 3 teams just in Minnesota's division, the Packers and the Bears involved, that are on the plus side of 500 just in one division.
People ask me all the time, you know, who's the best team in the NFL right now? And I tell them, I have no idea. I don't know who the best team is. I don't know who the worst team is. They're the 3 teams in the AFC with a winning record. After that, it's a lot of mediocrity. And Brad, I think a team's going to get healthy and hot at the appropriate time and go on a run like Green Bay and New York have the last couple of years.
The Falcons, the only perfect team remaining at 6-0, coming off a bye. They play the Eagles in one of the big games on Sunday. And again, no opportunity for a kick return for Percy Harvin. So Adrian Peterson comes out with a determined look on his face after putting the football on the ground, courtesy of Rondé Barber, and I'm sure he'd like to make amends for that here in the next 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, and I think there's a trap here, and that is, I think Minnesota's got to be careful with the football, and they've got to be patient. Plenty of time left in the game. You're only down 13 points. Tampa Bay's a 2-4 team. You know, and if you continue to throw the football away like that, you're going to lose a football game, but just calm down. Play your game.
And don't turn it over in your own territory, which they've done both times tonight. Peterson spins to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Gerald McCoy still holding on to him. He'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
That spin move is a patent of Adrian Peterson, but it's also dangerous when you're spinning. The ball can get stripped if you're not really aware of it, and that's what Rondé Barber's done.
Peterson hasn't caught a pass yet tonight, but he's been catching the ball well this year. 22 catches coming in.
Couldn't wait to tell you his hands were good in his entire career, not just this year.
I mentioned that to him, and his eyes lit up. Pump fake. Ponder takes a shot. Incomplete, intended for Simpson.
Yeah, I didn't like the decision there. Red Ellison wide open.
That brings up 3rd down and 10. The last thing the Vikings want to do is give it back to Tampa Bay before halftime. There's Bill Musgrave, the offensive coordinator.
He's got a delicate maintenance situation with a young quarterback who hasn't played real well the last 3 weeks. Started out poorly tonight. He's got to work some confidence into this young man, allow him to get some completions.
Harbin's got a couple of catches on 3rd down so far tonight. Over the middle, this one's Rudolph, the tight end, for the 1st down. His first catch of the night is a big one.
Really nice job from a protection perspective. The center, John Sullivan's going to turn this to the left, and they're going to pick up the blitz, the overload blitz to the left. The quarterback, Ponder, trusts the protection, and he waits. There's his guy right there. Nice job by Ponder and his offensive line identifying the blitz and then taking advantage of it.
Now the Vikings go back to a 2 tight end set on 1st down with Adrian Peterson putting his head down and getting out to the 37. Quincy Black, the outside linebacker, made a hit. But it's good for 5 more.
Interesting when you're in that building and you're asking people about that 1st-round pick, Matt Khalil.
Yeah.
And unanimously, what you hear from coaches and players is they think he's having a Pro Bowl type season.
That's hard to do at left tackle as a rookie.
Oh, man. I mean, we talk about baptism by fire. Every week you got somebody across from you who runs 4.5.
Play action. Oh, no chance for Ponder that time. Wow. He barely took 2 steps back.
Remember I talked about that slanting line and that front of what they do? Here's Daniel Teoneshian right here, and he's going to cross the face of Khalil. See him jump into the gap at the end. Johnson turns down. Khalil's late. That's a pass protection bust right there, and the quarterback pays the price.
And the first sack for the Buccaneers defense in the last 10 quarters. They haven't had a sack since September. They had a big one there. Pressure coming on Ponder again. He's going to load and fire for Simpson. He's got it. Simpson went up and got it. First down, Minnesota.
I want to see if he possesses this all the way through. I love the slide to the left by Ponder. And then the ability of Simpson to elevate. Look at the catch. Does he have it all the way through? He's fighting. He's got, I think that's going to stand. Remember Simpson when he was with Cincinnati had that acrobatic flip that everybody showed 20,000 times? Well, that's the residue of his vertical leap, which is really impressive.
A 33-yard pickup, a huge one to keep the Minnesota drive alive and their hopes of scoring before halftime. 2-minute warning in Minneapolis.
Start chat with RG3 and we mine week 8 for upset specials. This one not included. Brad.
All right, Rich, thanks. 2 minutes. We'll see you guys. Minnesota driving. A couple of big third down throws by Christian Ponder on this drive has set the Vikings up at the Tampa Bay 37. Going to flare one out. Percy Harvin incomplete.
They're staring each other down right there. Ponder made a bad throw. I think he was concerned that if he threw it at him, it was going to be a lateral. But I don't care. You got to give him the football. That's just a bad throw right there.
And I think Ponder's the first to agree with you. So it brings up second down at 10. Ponder in this drive on those third downs. On a 3rd and 10, he found his tight end for 12. And then Simpson on a 3rd and 12, good for 33.
Yeah, they need to finish it with points, though.
Harvin in motion to the slot on the right-hand side. Ponder's got to get rid of it. Got it. Adrian Peterson on the screen, but he's dragged out of bounds. Short gain. That's going to bring up third down.
Really an ideal play call for the blitz that Tampa came with. Rondé Barber comes off the edge. They're going to bring Peterson across and get it to him quickly. Now, if Charlie Johnson gets the block right out in front, right there on 58, Quincy Black, you have a chance for a big play. As it is, they still pick up significant yards.
How about how many big plays Rondé Barber's got at age 37 in this half already?
A future Hall of Famer. I mean, you got to love him.
Third down at 6. Big play for Minnesota. Ponder hit from behind as he lets it fly. And Percy Harvin has it stolen away from him by Leonard Johnson. But he's out of bounds.
And by the way, your guy Rondé Barber made a huge hit on Ponder on another blitz. Number 29, Leonard Johnson, the rookie from Iowa State. Keeps the play alive. Look at the right hand on the football. That is a phenomenal play for an undrafted rookie.
Blair Walsh will come in to try a 51-yard field goal. He's 16 out of 17 on the season, including a 55-yarder earlier this year that won Minnesota a ball game. This one's on the way. He's got plenty of leg. And the Vikings get 3 with 1:40 remaining in the half. Well, that was big. They wanted a touchdown, but they'll take any points they can get right now. You gotta love it when you've got a rookie kicker that you can count on. And Mark Richt would like to have Blair Walsh and Drew Butler back in Athens, I think. One, the starting punter for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now Blair Walsh here tonight. And 51-yarder, at least that keeps him in balance. And you said don't panic. It's only a 10-point game.
And I thought you made a really good point about the third down conversions that Christian Ponder hit there. And by the way, that last throw that Percy Harvin didn't come up with was another well-thrown football while he was getting hit in the back by a blitzing Rondé Barber. So I'm impressed that Ponder's come back. Rough start, but they're staying in the football game.
Well, we'll see if Tampa Bay has got enough time to try to add more points before halftime. They have only one timeout remaining, but that guy has had an unbelievable first half. Pretty sure there's not a better 37-year-old player in the NFL. There aren't too many 37-year player, even if you're a kicker.
I mean, they got a 35-year-older on the other side with Minnesota and Antoine Winfield. I think they've both found the fountain of youth.
Blair Walsh, who just hit the long field goal, sends this one to Ben, and he'll take a knee. And Tampa Bay will come out to the 20-yard line. We talked about rookie kickers, this guy being one of the impressive ones. And look at what some of the other guys have done. Wow. Zerline, who had a 60-plus yard kick, and Justin Tucker, the Ravens, 4 for 4. That's a pretty good year for young kickers.
I'm amazed at the accuracy right now league-wide over 50 yards. It's getting to the point. Remember years ago, Brad, they moved the post back, then
right.
They tightened the goalpost up. It's 18 feet 6 inches between the pipes now, and at some point you might have to consider making it even narrower.
This year, 50-plus yard field goals, 67% have been good. This guy's been good in the first half, too.
Man.
Martin, another 10-yard run.
You're not kidding.
So with that run, he's over 100 in the first half, 103 for Martin. Freeman over the middle, wide open is Martin. Martin trying to get away from Greenway, won't be able to, but he does get about 7 on the reception.
Tampa only has 1 timeout left. Look at Doug Martin.
Put your name in with Warwick Dunn and you're in some good company. Freeman fires, has a dangerous pass intended for Underwood. I'm not sure he liked Underwood's route, but Antoine Winfield very close to making a play there.
Yeah, I said to Winfield the other day at practice, I watched this tape on Sunday, thought he was phenomenal. And I said, what's the deal with your fountain of youth? He said, you know, these coaches are allowing me to rest all week. The only day I really practice hard is Thursday.
Right.
He said, my legs feel great, and I'm like, I got my quickness back.
Not saying he's been around a long time, but his son's a freshman playing high school football. Draw play to Martin. Allen giving chase. Whoa, a hurdle job, and he got peppered by Harrison Smith at the end of that play.
That was a pretty good stiff arm by the rookie tailback on Jared Allen. Watch the right arm dart out and catch 69 Allen right there.
Yep.
Bang, get off me. And then the effort at the end, jumping over Chris Cook and into Harrison Smith. If it was a defensive player, we'd be calling that one a face mask, partner.
Yep. And Harrison Smith will put a lick on you.
Oh, yeah. He's got the suspensions and the fines to prove it. I was teasing him the other day in practice, like, are you ever going to finish a game and not get fined, or what's the deal?
He's just living large, loving football.
He really is. Kid loves the game of football. They traded back up into the first round to get him, and he's paid huge dividends.
So 4th down at a yard. And the Buccaneers bring out their punting unit. Michael Kanan, who's had some big kicks tonight, and he's kept it basically away from Sherrills, who had a nice return the last time he touched it, but the penalty on Cook negated that return. I would think if it's any kind of return for Minnesota, that would dictate what they do with the next 38 seconds.
Yep.
A little pressure on the punter that time. This one's fielded at the 9 by Sherrills. Looking for a block on the edge. Works his way back to the middle of the field where he took a pretty good shot around the 25-yard line.
It's a brutal game, man.
Can hear the pads popping way up here.
Yep.
And so now there's just 25 seconds remaining. Minnesota does have 1 timeout.
I wouldn't expect to see them try to do anything other than maybe a little check down, something safe, see if you can bust something, get it in Peterson or Harvin's hands. Or, Brad, it wouldn't even surprise me if they took a knee and jogged it in.
They've got Gerhardt out there right now. So that might be what they're going to do. Toby Gerhardt behind Ponder. 25 seconds remaining. Does have 3 wideouts. And Rudolph, the tight end, on the move. They fake it to Gerhardt. Bootleg. Ponder looks downfield and almost threw an interception intended for Simpson. Eric Wright got his hands on it.
You know, that one bothers me, Brad, okay? And you almost have to take the ball out of his hands at this point. You called it right. It's a bootleg. Fake this way, come back the other way. Look at Percy Harvin. He's wide open. Give it to him. Instead, you're trying to make a bigger play, and you almost get it picked off. That's a horrible decision right there. And if I'm the head coach, I'm deflating the football right now. That's it.
White 45, we're good. Got Woody, we're touch.
Gerhardt, consider it deflated. Fans don't like it.
That was the right call, though, after that last pass.
So the Vikings on their home field trailing by 10 at halftime. End of the first half. Buccaneers 20, Vikings 10. Stay tuned. Rich and the guys will have the Lexus halftime show coming up in a minute. Third quarter here on Thursday Night Football as we take a look at the first half game summary presented by Gold Rush. Tampa Bay had the ball almost 5 minutes more than Minnesota. I think the key one's the second from the bottom down there. Points off turnovers. Minnesota put it on the ground a couple of times. Tampa Bay turned that into points. And Mike, here we are starting a second half when Tampa Bay's had trouble holding on to leads. Minnesota, for the most part, has had leads in their 5 wins, so something's going to give here.
Yeah, and I think you had to be impressed with that rookie tailback at Tampa Bay.
Right.
I mean, Doug Martin, for me, has been the difference in the football game outside of the turnover story.
You take a look at what he's done in the first half, over 100 yards on the ground.
Love his patience. Fullback gets up in the hole, Lorig, and watch him read the block by Lorig. Sticks his foot in the ground, comes all the way back to the left. Little counter play. This time, number 79, their right guard, Jamon Meredith, gets right on his hip and then accelerates through the hole at the proper time. Patience, cutting ability, toughness, 14 carries for 106 yards. Wow. Big first half.
He'll get his chance to handle the ball early in the third quarter because the Bucs will get it first. Blair Walsh to kick. Third quarter underway. Ben takes it about 7 yards deep and takes a knee as we check in with Alex.
Hey, Brad. Well, Greg Schiano telling me at the half that his rookie running back had just a great feel in the first half. The Bucs in that first half really playing their style of offense, running the ball and occasionally being able to take a big shot. Schiano, though, was mindful at the half of how many times his rookie running back has touched the ball, 16 times total. So he told me that they'll look to get LeGarrette Blount more involved in the second half to make sure that Doug's legs remain fresh. Of course, Leslie Frazier saying that they've had trouble against the run, Mike and Brad, because they have had trouble in their gap controls. Look for them to improve on that in the second half.
All right, Alex, thank you. Dallas Clark in motion. Quick slant thrown sidearm to try to get it around Robinson, and it's incomplete.
And Robinson was there again, as was defensive tackle Kevin Williams. Both of them had their, I don't even know how he got it through the two of them.
Kevin Williams having a laugh there. That brings up second down and 10.
And what Alex was talking about as far as gap control is you're talking about the front seven and a lack of discipline in getting the right fit, being in the right gap at the right time.
3 wide out set here from the 20. Freeman, quick drop. The quick throw out in the flat is to Dallas Clark. He's got a first down before he's knocked out of bounds, but he picked up about 17.
That's just a simple slant slide combination. You're going to see a slant from the outside and the slide by the tight end. They jump the slant. He gives it to the tight end, Dallas Clark. Chad Greenway nowhere near him. Throws it right between two players again.
That one had eyes, didn't it?
Sure did.
Clark's had 3 big catches tonight for 40 yards. First down at the 37. Here's a counter. Williams broke 1 tackle. Not going to get away from the second and third. He lost a yard.
Yeah, Kevin Williams made him run the hump there. They're going to pull Jamon Meredith, the right guard, and Kevin Williams comes over top of him and forces the tailback.
Chris Cook holding his right wrist. Starting corner coming off from Minnesota. And that'll put A.J. Jefferson over in that spot.
That's a shame because this kid's just starting to come on. He's 6'2", 212. Great big body, and Jefferson they traded for in the offseason, long corner from Fresno.
Second down, 11. Freeman wants to throw a screen, gets it to Martin, and another stiff arm, and he pops through, and Martin is going to be gone. Doug Martin, 64 yards for a touchdown.
That was absolutely beautiful, and I love the burst. I thought he was going to wait for a block, but he didn't. He saw the hole, he accelerated through it, Watch when he gets out wide. They set the screen up perfectly away from the tight bunch set. Now he gets the ball in his hand. 77, Carl Nix is there. He cuts inside that block on Greenway, missed tackles, and then a burst in acceleration. I'm not sure Greg Schiano's going to worry about how many touches he gets, Ness.
I don't think so. Give it to him.
That's a pretty good touch right there, man.
Longest pass play allowed by the Vikings this year. And now they really have put themselves in a hole here in the third quarter as it's about to be 27-10. Barth's extra point is good. Shocking the folks here at Mall of America Field. Doug Martin, the rookie, caps off an 80-yard drive in just 4 plays. Did 64 of it on that screen pass for the touchdown. Less than a minute and a half for Doug Martin to add to his total. He's got the same amount of yards as the Vikings do as a team. And Mike Mayock said a couple of minutes ago, I've really been impressed with Doug Martin. I think the impression continues, doesn't it?
It sure does. 2 first-round running backs, and he's earning his stripes, let me tell you that.
Percy Harvin can only watch this one go out the back of the end zone. Reminder, Sunday, wake up with First on the Field and NFL Game Day morning. This Sunday at First on the Field, RG3 sits down with Melissa Stark to discuss the Redskins matchup with the Steelers. Plus on Game Day morning, the Cowboys and Giants get together. Our expert teams weigh in on their predictions for that game. First on the Field and Game Day morning. All starts Sunday, 7 a.m. Eastern on NFL Network. Rondé Barber, the oldest guy in the field, has had a great game. The youngest guy in the field, Doug Martin's had an even better game on the offensive side for Tampa Bay. And now Minnesota tries to dig itself out of a 17-point deficit. Adrian Peterson wanted to do a stop and start, and instead he just got a stop.
Now you talk about rookies. Doug Martin's one of them, obviously. Mark Barron, another first-round pick. But the guy that made the play there was Levante David, their second-round pick out of Nebraska. Brad, he's a guy that ran like 4.46 at the combine. People thought he was an undersized linebacker, but I'm telling you, you put the tape on, he's so fast he can go over or under blocks and still get to the ball carrier.
Here's a pass out in the flat. Adrian Peterson. That's his first reception of the night, and it loses a couple. Rondé Barber came up and made the play again.
Brad, what you're starting to see, and I think people will understand, is the Vikings are somewhat limited offensively. They might have 2 explosive athletes in Peterson and Harvin, but they need somebody else to step up and take the load off those 2 guys, because you can single up on the rest of that team. Aroma Shadou's not going to beat you. Michael Jenkins is not going to beat you. You know, Jerome Simpson's the guy that's got to step up, and what did he do with his 1 catch? He fumbled it.
He did. Rudolph, the tight end, is split out to the bottom of your screen as the extra receiver. Ponder running for his life. And he's got to throw it away. And the Vikings will have to kick. And the Boo Birds out again.
You know, it's a situation. Who's going to make a play? And that time I thought he had a chance with Kyle Rudolph. You mentioned he was split out wide. Rudolph has 25 catches on the year. He doesn't have explosive speed, but he's got great hands. And they've got to find a way to get the ball to some other guys because everybody's squatting on 28 and 12.
4th 3 and out in this game for the Vikings. And Kluwe to punt. This time a high kick, but not that deep again. And Parrish runs up, takes a fair catch, and has to dive for it to make the grab at the 42-yard line. 12-12 remaining third quarter. Right now, Tampa Bay looking good on the road here in Minneapolis. Greg Schiano's first year as head coach of the Tampa Bay Bucs. Started off, played with your brother at Bucknell.
Go Bison.
Go Bison. And then on as a grad assistant under Joe Paterno at Penn State. Defensive coordinator at the University of Miami. And then on to 10 years at Rutgers, where he turned the Scarlet Knights into a winner. And now trying to do the same with Tampa Bay in his first year in the NFL as a head coach. And great job so far tonight by his troops to lead by 17 on the road.
He's a smart guy. Is he a tough guy? Yes. Is he a little controversial? What happened in the Giants game and how they played at the end of a couple different games? It's been very controversial around the league. But one thing with Greg Schiano, he's smart, he's tough, and that's what you're going to get every week.
Martin, and again he pops it through the first wave. Brinkley and Robinson bring him down, but he picked up 5 more.
He and Butch Davis met up at the University of Miami. He brought Butch in to be a special assistant to the head coach here in Tampa Bay, and I don't know how long he's going to be able to hold on to Butch, because I think he's going to end up as a head coach somewhere pretty soon.
Saw Butch before the game, and he echoed those sentiments. Can't wait to get back in it as a coach full time. There's a lot of people that probably would like to have him as a head coach. Yep. Dallas Clark in motion. A second down at 5. The stretch play to Martin. Made the first man miss, and there he goes again. And Martin inside the 45-yard line. Another 10-yard gain.
You know, you can't say enough about the guy that's helping him on these gains. It's Eric Lorig, the fullback. Watch the block he gets on the linebacker. I believe it was Jasper Brinkley, 54, right in the hole, right on top of him. He just rolls him over. Now you make the cut back, which he does. And it's the offensive line, it's the fullback, and these are two teams that believe in the concept of a fullback, which is a little bit atypical in today's NFL.
You're right about that. That fullback is in motion, so they're probably going to run that way, and they do. Kind of hides behind him and then cuts it out to the left side and got to the 40-yard line. Martin, one of a couple of first-round draft choices in the NFL from the running back position, the other being Trent Richardson, who came out of Alabama. If you take a look at their numbers right now, that was before the game. Doug Martin's added way over 100 yards to that total so far.
And to be fair to Trent Richardson, he's been a little bit banged up and playing with an injury, so it's tough at this point to try to compare the two. However, I'll tell you that kid right there is special. He's a 3-down back. He catches the football, and he understands pass protection.
Strong and fast and shifty. Freeman, quick slant, got it to Williams. Williams has a first down inside the 30. And a pickup of 12.
You know, and this is a big receiver, 6'2", 212. He's got to use his physicality to win. He's not fast. He beats Winfield, just gets his hands on him, uses that big body, catches it, and cleanly gets off the field off the press coverage of Antoine Winfield.
Tampa Bay threatening again at the 27-yard line of Minnesota. Any kind of points here, and it's going to be tough sledding for the Vikings to find their way back in this football game.
Yeah, the Vikings defense have to make a play, Brad.
LeGarrette Blount in the backfield, giving Martin a breather, as Alex said they would. And he'll get the carry. He's a different kind of back, and he doesn't get anything. Maybe a yard. Harrison Smith came up to make the tackle.
I think his value to this team is to take some touches away from Doug Martin, because most rookies at some point hit a wall.
Yeah.
They're not used to that 16-game season. So Blount only had 25 carries coming into today, but he's 247 pounds. He's got good straight line speed, and you've got to give that rookie tailback a little bit of rest if you want to keep him healthy all season long.
Remember, 2 years ago, Blount was a 1,000-yard rusher in his own right. They fake it to him. Freeman comes up firing on second down and 9. Complete on the pass, but Josh Robinson immediately made the hit on Williams, and it'll bring up third down.
And Blount did just a good enough job on Jared Allen to give him a lane to throw in. And again, ever since a shaky start, I think Josh Freeman's been pretty solid tonight.
Yes, he has. And they've kept him pretty clean considering that front four of Minnesota.
And that's a really good point they have. They've been consistent up front.
Martin's back in. Third down and 3. Again, Dallas Clark, the motion man. There's going to be a pitch to Martin, but there was a whistle. Shiana might have called a timeout, I think, before the play.
Yeah, he sprinted about 20 yards down the field to get it.
The Buccaneers take a timeout with exactly 8 minutes remaining in the third quarter, threatening Minnesota again. Tonight's aerial coverage is being presented by Southwest Airlines. Downtown Minneapolis, where the Vikings were hoping to go to 6-2, and things are not looking so good for them right now. Greg Schiano, look at him run down the sideline to make the timeout call, and then he just takes the official with him. What did you say? That's more tackles than he had at Bucknell?
That's one more tackle than he had at Bucknell.
Third down and 3. Empty backfield for Josh Freeman. Plenty of time to throw. A streak down the sideline. Could have been picked off. Jefferson was there. Smith came over. And that was the play the Vikings were looking to make.
Yeah, they were trying to get a rub route there with Vincent Jackson rubbing off the outside receiver, and I think if Jefferson didn't get a piece, Harrison Smith might have picked it. Just going to run a little rub right there. Jefferson does a good job, and Smith is coming in behind it. Look at the long arms of Jefferson. Like him, he's 6'1", 190, and runs extremely well.
2 for 2 tonight for Barth, 28 and 40. This is a 38-yard attempt to try to make it a 20-point game. And it's good. Someone of the Vikings got some good penetration but didn't get the hand in the right spot. So Tampa adds to its lead. Almost Halloween time. This guy's been freakish tonight, I'll tell you that much. Ticket packages are available direct from the NFL. Visit NFLOnLocation.com to book your ticket package to the 2013 International Series, NFL Pro Bowl, Super Bowl, and the NFL Draft. Visit NFLOnLocation.com today. Brad Nessler, Mike Mayock, Alex Flanagan at Mall of America Field in Minneapolis, where right now the Buccaneers are dominating the Vikings. Percy Harvin finally gets a touch from the end zone, and he'll bring it out. Percy Harvin across the 20, 30, and out to the 34-yard line. And you can feel the electricity in the building when he gets his hands on it. The kicker made the tackle.
And the guy averages 35 yards a kickoff return. So that was just average, and he almost broke it.
That was 43 officially. So the 36-yard line is where Minnesota goes to work. First kickoff return of the game by either team. These kickers have kept it out of the return guy's hands for the most part.
Down. Ready.
Blitz coming. Picked up. Ponder going deep on the sideline. Out of bounds. They tried that play 2 or 3 times to Jerome Simpson, and it worked once.
Jerome Simpson's got to give him more room on that sideline to make the throw. That's a good job by E.J. Biggers forcing him into the sideline. There's no play you can't catch the football there. That receiver's got to be approximately 5 to 7 yards inside the sideline to give his quarterback an angle to throw it.
Now let's see if they go back to the ground to Adrian Peterson. And Adrian Peterson pops it into the secondary. Peterson at midfield. Foot race now. Adrian Peterson's going to win that race. Touchdown, Minnesota. He's a big play waiting to happen, and it just did.
They pulled Jeff Schwartz, Jerome Felton, the fullback. I thought 81 right there almost was going to get called for a block in the back. Jerome Simpson, he doesn't. I'm scared right there. That's really close to a block in the back, and you probably didn't need to make that effort because Peterson was going to score anyway.
4th rushing touchdown of the year. The man they call all day. We still got all night left. Don't go away. 64-yard touchdown. Minnesota works its way back into the game again. I think it's safe to say Adrian Peterson is in the great category. Just showed his speed coming off that knee injury of a year ago, less than a year ago, and now he's passed Robert Smith. Chuck Foreman had 1,700-yard games for the Vikings. Robert Smith 29, and now Adrian Peterson's all alone in the record books, and he is the all-time leading Viking rusher. Ben won't bring this one out, and Tampa Bay will work from the 20.
What did Peterson tell us in our meeting yesterday? That his goal going into every season is 2,500 combined yards.
Right. As a receiver and a running back, pretty lofty goal. But he certainly seems like a guy capable of doing it one of these years.
He had close to 800 coming in. He's over 900 now. Not quite the pace yet, but again, this Minnesota offense is going to struggle to manufacture anything.
By the way, Adrian Peterson, at least temporarily, this being the first game of the weekend, is the NFL's leading rusher right now. But the 2 guys that were in front of him will have their chance on Sunday. Freeman Nice play fake, comes across the middle, incomplete. Jackson's been shut out since the first half. The Bucs have scored on 6 of their 9 drives tonight. But remember, a couple of Minnesota turnovers, both in their own territory, led to a short field and 10 of those points.
It's a 13-point differential right now, and you're right. That's the difference in a competitive game.
The third highest total ever for a Buccaneer quarterback was what Josh Freeman had last week, 420 yards in the loss to New Orleans. In a shootout with Drew Brees that Drew Brees won. They fake the slant. They give it off on a draw to Martin, and for the first time tonight, the Vikings are going to bottle him up without him doing any further damage. Kevin Williams, who's been around a long time and been to a lot of Pro Bowls, in on the stop.
And Brad, you mentioned earlier in the game that Tampa has given up some leads in the past. Watching the tape last week of the New Orleans game, Tampa scored their first 3 possessions. They're up 21-7, ultimately lost the football game. And this place is starting to get loud.
Third down and 10. Jared Allen hasn't had a sack yet tonight. He was coming in a hurry, and they threw the screen right by his helmet. But DJ Ware, rather, didn't get enough for the first down.
I think it was Harrison Smith who was buzzing out underneath the wide receiver, read the tailback screen very quickly, came up and made the tackle. And that was a big tackle. That forces a punt.
And what a huge play for the Vikings defense, because after scoring the touchdown, they forced Tampa Bay to give it right back to them.
That's a huge play right there that Harrison Smith made.
Kane in to kick. Sherrill's backpedals to the 16-yard line. Sherrill's coming up the sideline. Knocked out of bounds, or he might have had a big gainer. As it is, he got it out around the 30-yard line. 57-yard punt, but a 14-yard return. Don't forget, next week, we'll see Phillip Rivers and company and the San Diego Chargers taking on Jamal Charles, the Kansas City Chiefs. Thursday Night Football next Thursday, 8 Eastern, right here on NFL Network.
I feel like we're running into a lot of Turners. You know, we got Ron Turner, the quarterback coach for Tampa Bay.
We got Norb next week.
We got Ron's son in this game too, Cameron Turner with the Vikings.
We got Michael Turner against the New Orleans Saints after Thanksgiving. We'll find you some more Turners. Right now, the Vikings try to turn this game around. Play action, Ponder in trouble. He's going down. Back at the 20. Mason Foster, Quincy Black. Second sack of the night.
Yeah, Peterson's going to bring up right here, and he's going to get, I believe, the safety, Barron. He gets the safety, but there's a late blitz right there. Good job by Mason Foster. Ponder can't pull the trigger. A couple of sacks tonight, right?
Yep, that's the second one.
They only had 8 heading into tonight.
Now the Vikings put themselves in a long yardage situation again. Second down at 20. Peterson jumps into the hole, spins his way for about 4. Mark Barron made initial contact. Rondé Barber helped him out, and now it's going to be third down, and the Vikings would like to keep this drive going, but it's going to be third down and about 16.
Mark Barron brought everything he had on that tackle and bounced all. He's like, man, I thought the SEC was pretty good, but this cat's different.
Two-time All-American at Alabama. Vikings have to be careful with this one for Christian Ponder, whose confidence has been a little shaken over the last 2.5 weeks. Throws complete across the 30 to Michael Jenkins, but it's going to be fourth down.
We asked Adrian Peterson about that Oklahoma-Notre Dame game. He said he's got 5 teammates on this Vikings team that went to Notre Dame, and he gave them all 17 points. I was like, you kidding me?
I think those 5 Notre Dame guys are thinking about getting their own private plane to go down to Norman for that big game on Saturday night.
I don't think they're thinking about it. I think they did it.
It's a doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Punt Roscoe Parrish has to run up on second time tonight. He's had to hit the deck to make a catch, but he made it.
Yeah, after he fumbled the first one of the night.
Right. Had a little bit of trouble.
This one scares me. Close the elbows. Easiest way to lose a punt is to leave those elbows wide open. Giano's saying let it bounce, right?
But he does save a few yards probably at the 30-yard line. 3:59 remaining third quarter. Minnesota came up with a stop the last time, forced the punt, but they couldn't do anything with it because of the sack on Ponder. And that's Josh Freeman's turn to go to work with his sensational rookie tailback behind him in the eye. The stretch play to Martin, trying to follow his fullback, and this time Minnesota again has got it defended well.
Christian Ballard, second-year player from Iowa, did a really nice job hustling down the line of scrimmage and making a play. Plenty of time here. There should be no panic on either side.
Let's see if Freeman's going to put one up on second down and 10. Again, they don't get any pressure on him, and he fires down the sideline. Incomplete. Vincent Jackson makes a diving attempt over there. And now we got a fight going on in the backfield. Jared Allen's in the middle of that with Donald Penn.
Yeah, I don't think Jared Allen liked the way he got blocked that time by Donald Penn.
And he's got the bridge of his nose is bleeding as well.
Working on the left tackle, Donald Penn. Now Penn's holding him a little bit there, pushes him down, stays on him, and now he jumps on him. That's the part right there that Allen objected to. Okay, you pushed me down, but you don't have to jump on me. And from there, you can call that both ways.
There are two fouls. Personal foul. Grabbing the face mask, number 69, defense. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 70, offense. By rule, those penalties offset. Third down.
And if Jared Allen didn't look like a mean defensive end when the game started with the blood streaming down his face, he does now.
Yeah, I would suggest that we kind of isolate on these guys for a couple plays and see what happens, huh? You know, once a player is down, especially a veteran player, they don't like that offensive lineman jumping on them.
Third down and 10. You think Jared Allen's going to be coming strong here? They're not exchanging phone numbers. And no text message needed. I think we get the drift.
Donald Penn's own teammates are getting on him.
They're probably telling him it's hard enough in this building. Don't make it worse.
They're having conversations with both head coaches.
And here we go. Third down and 10. If Minnesota gets a stop, this place is going to explode. And now half the Tampa Bay staff is on the field. Timeout.
I don't understand how the people bringing the water on the field can be on the field before the refs blow a whistle. They got 2 or 3 guys running off the bench from Tampa Bay with water, and there was not a timeout call. Watch at the top of your screen. He's trying to call a timeout, and here they all come. Well, I guess he got the call in. He got the call in.
Mike Sullivan, the offensive coordinator, trying to talk to his quarterback in a huddle. And I'm sure it's very hard to be heard even at that close range right now. Donald Penn is going to have to line up against Jared Allen on this next snap. And Jared Allen still pleading his case to the officials. So Tampa Bay's down to one timeout.
I think this is the best thing that could have happened to Minnesota was that skirmish right there.
3rd down and 10. Plug your ears. Freeman. They got to him. Jared Allen is the reason.
Oh, yeah. Who didn't know that was going to happen?
I think we have a fired-up Minnesota Viking team right now.
Yeah, they get Jared Allen and Everson Griffin on the same side, and they just collapse the left side of the offensive line.
You couldn't script that for a movie.
Brad, I'm serious. That's the best thing that could have happened for Minnesota was that fight. Got the crowd in the game, and it's got Allen going hard.
Kane into punt. Charles has to get out of the way and let it go out of bounds, which it does at about the 29-yard line.
Now let's take a look at this sack. They collapse Nix and Penn. Your two best pass rushers over here, Allen and Everson Griffin. Griffin comes through, Allen cleans up, and it was deafening in here. Look at the leverage he plays with. He gets underneath Penn. Penn had no shot that time.
Allen 6 straight games with at least 1 sack, and wrap them up and rope them and tie them. And now Minnesota's got the ball back.
Yeah, and let's give a lot of credit to Everson Griffin on that sack too.
Now can the Vikings offense take over where their defense left off? Peterson cuts it outside, and he got tagged on the corner. Nice play by Michael Bennett, the defensive end.
I think Bennett is one of the more underrated players in this league. He came into the game with 4 sacks. He's stout against the run. Peterson coming off the field. No,
coming out as a wide
wide
receiver.
Yep.
They put themselves in long yardage, though, again, like they did with the sack the last time they had it. This one not as bad. 2nd down and 12.
Looks like zone coverage because the corner's on Peterson.
Ponder steps up, might run with it now. He got a block and across the 30 as Peterson that threw the block that got him to the edge.
That's a good call, Ness. He got the block on the defensive tackle, Roy Miller.
A couple of guys, both from Oklahoma.
Usually when you're a back or a wide receiver peeling back, what you're hoping for is a low number. You don't want that big defensive tackle running right at you. And real good job by Peterson.
And I got to think this is the biggest 3rd down of the ball game for Minnesota. After their defense came up with a big play, they don't want to have to give it right back to the Buccaneers. And it's a low snap. Ponder's got to scoop it and just cover it. And so they went the wrong way again with their offensive series. Wasted opportunity by the Viking offense with 1:41 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Daquan Bowers is just going to clean up. Ponder looking to his right, getting ready for the snap. It comes back and hits him in the ankle. Here comes Bowers, just activated off PUP today. And Brad, you said it exactly right. I mean, that's the definition of implosion right there.
Yep.
You got everything going your way in your building, and that happens.
Roscoe Parrish has made it pretty interesting on punt returns tonight. Flags fly immediately on the kick. This one he'll take cleanly at the 25 and then tripped himself up. But again, a penalty marker down. I think it's going to be a face mask, maybe, the preliminary indication.
Yeah, Donald Penn, the big left tackle, got paid big money to re-sign with Tampa Bay a couple years ago.
During the kick, personal foul, grasping the face mask. Number 29 receiving team, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
So that's going to back it up. Jared Allen, the All-Pro, at 22 sacks a year ago, a team record, mixing it up with Donald Penn all night long. And it really erupted on the last series with this altercation. And that led to Jared Allen's 1st sack after the offsetting personal foul penalty.
And here's the part right there that Allen didn't like. All right, you're down. I'm down. You beat me. Don't keep coming. And I don't blame him.
And he is part defensive end, part cheerleader. Igniting the crowd again here late in the third quarter. Martin. He'll be dragged down after a gain of only a yard. And another penalty marker in the mix. And again, Ron Winter with the call.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Defense, a 5-yard penalty from the end of the run, and a first down.
You notice we didn't get a number there?
I know. I think right now the officials are trying to regain control of the game and not let what's going on at the line of scrimmage escalate again. As it is, first down. Play clock, I think, is what the issue is right here.
So Josh Freeman wants it reset, and there it goes. Went back to 25.
First down at the 19. Martin draw play, lost yardage. Loss of a couple. Allen in on the stop.
Yeah, they had a blitz between the center guard hole, and Jared Allen also won against Penn that time.
Maybe the best thing that could happen to the Buccaneers right now is the third quarter come to a close, because if they had to run a couple more plays and got back into a third down situation, this place would go crazy again.
I think you're right.
Jared Allen asking for more noise. Folks here at Mall of America Field at the Metrodome can take a little breather and then come to life when the fourth quarter starts. We played 3. Intensity picking up in Minneapolis. End of 3. Buccaneers 30-17. Heading into the fourth quarter, Tampa Bay leading Minnesota 30-17. A sensational night as both a runner and a receiver for Doug Martin, the rookie out of Boise State. Adrian Peterson over 100 yards, but a fumble that led to points. In fact, the Bucs have 10 points off Minnesota turnovers, and the Vikings can't find the passing game again, and they're going to need it in this final 15 minutes. Brad Nessler, Mike Mayock, Alex Flanagan as we head to the fourth in Minneapolis, where the 5-2 Vikings are looking for a comeback, and Tampa Bay looking to snap a long road skid. They've lost their last 9 road games. Their last win away from home, guess where? Right here. Last year. Second down, 12. Draw play. Martin puts his head down and blasts out to the 23, where it's going to bring up a third down and long situation.
And Brad, making things more difficult for Minnesota. Remember, Chris Cook went out of the game, went in for x-rays. He's not shown up since then. So out on the corners right now, they're playing with A.J. Jefferson, who they picked up this year, and rookie Josh Robinson. Makes it a little bit more difficult.
And Alex says that Cook is definitely out for the rest of the game.
Antoine Winfield plays the nickel position or one of the corners, depending on what the personnel is with the offense.
And right now, Jared Allen's going to look like Usain Bolt getting in a track stance. Third down and 6. Here they come. Freeman steps up and throws complete across the 30 to Jackson. And a first down, Tampa Bay. And that quiets the crowd to a whisper.
And this time he's working on Marcus Sherrills, number 35. That's stealing right there. Just an arm over, gets the young defensive back turned, and then breaks out on the out cut. That was stealing, and that's what happens when you lose some depth in your secondary. That's a mismatch.
Both of Jackson's catches were on third down so far tonight.
That was a big catch there.
Minnesota hasn't been able to come up with a turnover. He's all wrapped up. Greenway on the stop along with Henderson.
Yeah, Aaron Henderson did a really nice job at the point of attack. Remember, Laurie has been attacking them, the fullback, all night long. That time, Henderson came up, took him on, and made the tackle.
Clock working its way down to 13 minutes remaining in the football game. Minnesota down 2 scores. Second down at 10. Blunt stays in there in the backfield along with the fullback Lorig. It's a draw play to Blunt. Hit at the line of scrimmage. Christian Ballard in on the stop. And might be a little bit shaken up after making the stop.
Minnesota's inserting their safety into the run game. You'll see Jamarca Sanford feed up. He becomes the unblocked defender on this lead draw. Comes up. Laurie goes up in the hole. There's nobody on Sanford, and the safety makes the tackle right at the line of scrimmage, forcing a 3rd and long.
That was LaTroy Guyon that was shaken up. He was helping on the tackle. Here's another 3rd down and long.
Griffin and Allen on the same side again. The 2 most talented pass rushers lined up on the left guard and the left tackle.
Freeman, here they come. He got rid of it, and it's caught by Underwood. Wow. Boy, that was heavy pressure, and Freeman stood in there tall as he is at 6'6" and fired that thing good for 12 yards.
Nix and Penn, the left guard and tackle, had all they could do to hang in here. Watch Penn anchor, re-anchor. Freeman stays in. That's a good throw and catch, and I like the protection.
Now he's in the shotgun on 1st down, and they'll roll him out to throw. And incomplete. Underwood was the closest guy. Well, you saw Mike Sullivan, the offensive coordinator, say, "We're good, just calm down." He's had a good game. As you said, Josh started as shaky as Ponder did, but then he warmed up, and Christian Ponder really hasn't.
Yeah, I like what Mike Sullivan talked about with, having been with Eli, big-bodied, strong quarterback. And what he said is the last couple of weeks in practice, you could see Josh Freeman come on and starting to really trust both Mike Williams and Vincent Jackson. And when you say a quarterback trusts his receivers, it means when you get a one-on-one shot, you take it and let your guy make a play.
2nd and 10, inside draw. Martin has a flag down. We might have a holding call in the mix.
Yeah, I thought the left guard, Nix, mauled one of the linebackers. 77, Nix.
Holding. Offense number 76. Our penalties decline. Makes it 3rd down.
So they declined the penalty, and it's 3rd down at the 49.
Aaron Henderson's going out. I think that's who the left guard Nix had gotten both arms wrapped around, and he can't get off the field right now.
Well, they've converted 3rd downs on this drive. A 3rd and 6. They got 14, and on a 3rd and 10, they found Underwood for 12. Here it is, 3rd and 10 again.
Josh Freeman is asking for the 25-second clock to be reset because of the injury. And it has been.
Now we're set on a 3rd and 10 from the 49.
Yeah, big 3rd down here, Brad Nessler. Big 3rd down.
Freeman's been pretty darn good on 3rd down tonight. This time he throws deep on the sideline, and it's caught by Williams. What a grab on what looked like an A.J. Jefferson possibility for an interception.
And what did we just talk about? A quarterback trusting a receiver in a one-on-one situation to make a play. A.J. Jefferson's got some pretty good coverage here. But look where this football's put. Oh, my goodness,
wow.
Is that a great catch. Really good throw. And, Brad, last year, Josh Freeman wouldn't even attempt that throw. And I think that's what Mike Sullivan was trying to say to us. One-on-one, trust your receiver to make a play. Beautiful.
And he goes up and just out-jumps Jefferson on the corner for the 1st down inside the 20 at the 17. Martin, no gain on that one.
Minnesota doing a much better job against the run game now. They're getting that 8th guy, that safety, and that time was Harrison Smith.
Harrison Smith back padding on the back of his helmet coming off after that last tackle. A loss of a yard, so it's 2nd down and 11. Minnesota's defense has been out there a long time tonight.
Yeah, a lot of snaps.
This is the 12th play just of this Buccaneer drive. Again, little draw on the inside, gets it back across the original line of scrimmage, but it's still going to bring up 3rd down and about 9.
They've converted some key 3rd downs on this drive. It's gotten them into field goal range. 3rd and 10 to Underwood. They pick up 12. 3rd and 10. They hit Mike Williams for 34. 3rd and 6 early in the drive for 14.
Started this drive 71 yards ago, and that's 3rd down and 9 at the 16. Freeman throws the slant. Williams makes the catch, and he's got it 1st and goal at the 6.
Rookie corner Josh Robinson, 3rd round pick out of Central Florida, kind of fell on the transition. Watch when he goes to the slant to the inside. He slips and falls. That makes it an easy throw. And the big-bodied Michael Williams is having a pretty big day here, especially here in the 2nd half, taking some of the pressure off the Tampa Bay offense.
Boy, if they score a touchdown here, Minnesota, the way their passing game has been tonight, I don't think there's a shot.
You're right.
They're already down to 8.5 minutes remaining. 1st and goal at the 5. Martin got a couple. Greenway made the stop. And now everything's in Tampa Bay's favor. They've got it down at the 3-yard line. The clock is running. And they've got a 13-point lead, trying to make it 20.
Michael Williams has 6 catches tonight for 68. And what the coaches kept telling us last night from Tampa Bay was Vincent Jackson has done more than be a big play receiver for us. He's teaching Michael Williams how to become a professional, and it's showing up first on the practice field and now in game situations.
Christian Ponder can only pace that Minnesota sideline. 8-minute drive. It's just chewing up this quarter. Freeman fade for Jackson. Incomplete. Knocked away by Josh Robinson.
Yeah, I thought I heard whistles there.
Timeout.
Tampa Bay's final timeout. You know, when you want a timeout called, you're a head coach, sometimes you have to run sprints.
Dude's been getting a workout tonight. Look at him over here.
There's Greg Schiano coming down, and he got the timeout right before that last snap. But that was their final timeout. Not that it probably will have an effect on the rest of this game, especially if they get a touchdown here. They started this drive at their own 13-yard line. 15th play right now. 2nd and goal at the 3.
They're double teaming up on top of the screen. Run the ball.
Martin got to the legs of his fullback at about the 1-yard line.
Yeah, they made it pretty evident they were going to take the wide receiver out of that play, Vincent Jackson. Good job by Freeman calling the run.
And that's 3rd and goal at the 1. You know, when you got a quarterback that weighs 240 pounds in his career, he's 19 for 19 on converting 3rd and 1 rushing situations. Maybe let him do it.
You calling on that now?
I don't know.
Is that the call? I wouldn't be surprised to see play action again.
They did it once from the 1-yard line. Martin digging in, and he got there. Touchdown. Doug Martin capping a sensational night with another touchdown.
Jared Allen tried to tackle him with his back. He could go for 2 here for the point differential. But Jared Allen got turned around and tried the very unconventional way. Well, look at Allen with his back turned, trying to keep him out of the end zone. It's tough enough to tackle that dude front ways, Jared.
Mike, the Bucs were 5 for 5 on 3rd downs on that drive.
Oh, man.
And that was a long drive that started way back at their own 13-yard line. That's how you eat up the clock and win football games on the road. 16 plays, 87 yards, 9 minutes, 9 seconds.
And now that they're into this point in the 4th quarter, he's going to go for 2 because he wants to get this thing to 21 points.
This would be a huge road win to snap the long road losing skid and put Tampa Bay in the thick of things in the NFC South. And the Giants have won tonight to take a 2-0 lead in the World Series. And talk about a Giant performance. How about Doug Martin tonight? 234 yards. He was a star at Boise State last year, and he's already a star in the National Football League. Adrian Peterson, a fumble that he'd like to have back. That led to points for the Buccaneers, 10 off turnovers, and then a 9+ minute drive, 9 minutes and 9 seconds on 16 plays that just covered 87 yards, and it ended with this play that's under review on whether or not Martin got in from a yard out. Kept the wheels churning right there.
His lower body strength is awesome.
I don't think his knee ever goes down until he's across the goal line.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It looked good to me.
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
Yep.
It is a touchdown.
Came in as the third leading rusher among rookies, and he's having a huge night here in Minnesota.
I remember the first tape I put on to watch him at Boise, and I was just so impressed with his burst and acceleration, number one, his ability to catch the football, number two, and then just his all-around toughness, whether it's finishing runs, whether it's his lower body strength, or even pass protection.
So the Buccaneers going for the 2-point conversion here.
Spread them wide.
Freeman. Fade to Williams. Can't hold it. A.J. Jefferson covering. So the lead stays where it is. 36-17. Doug Martin, the star of the show here tonight. The Vikings joined the Ring of Honor here at Mall of America Field of the Metrodome tonight. Longtime linebacker Matt Blair, number 59, blocked 20 kicks in his career as a Minnesota Viking linebacker, and joined the group in the ring. Alan Page, Bill Boom Boom Brown, Carl Eller, that's Fred Zamberletti, and former Viking coach Jerry Burns, Chuck Foreman, Randall McDaniel, and Scott Studwell was the last guy. He hugged all those guys in the Ring of Honor here in Minnesota, and Matt, definitely a worthy choice there.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. He's a heck of a player.
Did you have a particular favorite growing up around here?
I liked all those guys.
Did you?
Yeah.
I
like this guy too, but it's going to be a losing effort for Adrian Peterson tonight.
Yeah.
Percy Harvin can only catch it over his head and not stay in the end zone.
You know, Ness, you grew up in this area. You worked in this building, right?
Yep.
There's some memories we have here. And I'm kind of digging the hair.
Come on.
Are you kidding me? Did you have a chain that went with that hair?
That is bad. The hair got a little better there.
Look at this. In the radio, left side, you got that hair combed back a little bit.
And
oh, there's a good one. You look like you're 11.
Yes, I do. I wish I still did. I appreciate that, guys. Talk about getting run over by the truck. Thanks, fellas. That's great. Michael Jenkins in motion. Here's a quick toss out to Percy Harvin. Got 10, or very close to it. Well, the Vikings look like they're going to fall to 5-3. Still one of the surprises in this season so far as we head into the full weekend of games. A lot of big stories, injuries, the return of Joe Vitt as interim coach for the Saints. And they can use all the help they can get, but they're starting to play pretty well right now. Maybe just in the nick of time, but Joe Vitt will return as the Saints head coach. Panthers fired their general manager this week. A couple of key injuries. Charles Woodson for the Packers and Sean Lee, the leading tackler for the Cowboys, both out. Story tonight is going to be what number 7 hasn't been able to do tonight for the Vikings. That's going to continue.
I'll give you another story. Percy Harvin on about the 45-yard line, bent over with the trainer next to him, Eric Sugarman. He came out. I thought he was holding after that big hit. I thought like shoulder, collarbone. I'm not trying to speculate on anything, but as soon as he took that hit 2 snaps ago, he headed for the sideline.
What's that, TT?
That takes away their biggest outside threat as a receiver when they only have 6 minutes to work with. Ponder, deep sideline, got his man open there, and that's Michael Jenkins. Out of bounds, but into Buccaneer territory. A pickup at 28.
I think Ponder did a good job. Eyes were down the middle of the field. He knew exactly what he was going to do coming back to his left. Jenkins was in the hole between the corner and the safety, and he ripped it to him. Held the safety. Comes all the way back, opens up the shoulders and the hips, knows he's there.
He'd like to have about 15 more of those tonight, wouldn't he?
Yep.
Going to throw short to his safety valve here, and that's Toby Gerhardt. Gerhardt's going to be close to another first down. I think he's got it.
Yeah, good burst by Gerhardt. Caught the football, stuck his foot in the ground, got up a little quicker than I thought he could, getting up the field. Heck of a baseball player at Stanford, too.
Percy Harvin's back in there. Empty backfield for Christian Ponder. Vikings need points, and they need them quickly. Here's the flare out to Percy. Finally got to the 20-yard line. And the Vikings have to get up to the line on every snap now with just 5 minutes remaining.
You know, Mike Jenkins was the wide receiver on that play. He was, before the snap, he was putting his hands up in the air like, what's the call? And he didn't even realize he was the lead blocker on the bubble screen. He ran a route.
That's why Percy Harvin only got 3 yards. And now Ponder rolling left, trying to square his shoulders up. Now he'll get what he can and get out of bounds. A yard shy of the first down.
He had Gerhardt a couple of times, and he tried to get greedy down the field and ended up just having to run it out of bounds. Brian Fusco, the right guard, got jacked right back in his lap, which is why he had to escape to his left.
Well, Vikings in 2-down territory. Doesn't really matter that it's 3rd and 2 as the clock is stopped with 4:38. And if they could get it in the end zone, we'd be seeing an onside kick. But they need to hustle. That's Jenkins again in motion to the slot on the left side of Ponder. Pump fakes that way and now throws it that way. And Jenkins was the intended receiver, looking for a holding call on Eric Wright. He doesn't get it. And the crowd reacts.
Yeah, they were looking for Jenkins the whole time there. Remember we talked earlier about somebody else has to win one-on-one? This is an opportunity right here to win one-on-one. Now, that's not a win. It's a good back shoulder throw, but Eric Wright's all over Jenkins. And outside of Peterson and Harvin, they're really struggling finding somebody that can win. And that guy right there, Bill Sheridan, the defensive coordinator, I think has called a heck of a game for the Bucs.
Might be the last time Minnesota touches it here if they don't convert. 4th down and 2. And everybody jumping.
Khalil saw Michael Bennett jump, I think, and he jumped. You could call Tampa Bay in the neutral zone here. Might have been Daquan Bowers. I mean, it was right over the center, I think.
Daquan happy to be back in business.
False start. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
And Khalil, a rookie left tackle. So they make it harder on themselves. And that's been the story all night long for Minnesota. 4th down and 7.
Down, tight.
Has Kyle Rudolph caught a pass tonight?
He's got one. Ponder hit as he throws, and it harmlessly goes incomplete. Teon Esheim with the hit on Ponder. And as I said, that might be the last time the Vikings even touch it on offense.
Yeah, that was
4:29 remaining.
Another pass protection bust. Untouched.
When your quarterback's having a night as rough as he's had, it doesn't help when he's getting hit every time he tries to throw.
It's an overload blitz. You got to block this inside out. You can't let any of the inside guys come.
4:29 remaining. Tampa Bay en route to a win on the road. They've made it a rough night for the second-year quarterback, Christian Ponder. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. on NFL Total Access, coming off their incredible win. RG3 and the Redskins will be talking with us. Giants quarterback Eli Manning along to discuss the showdown with the Cowboys and always the latest news and info leading up to another big NFL weekend. NFL Total Access tomorrow, 7 Eastern, only on NFL Network. So the Buccaneers take over with a big lead and 4:29 remaining. And an end around on the way. Ben, took a big shot from the rookie Harrison Smith at the end of that run.
Yeah, he did. That's an aggressive first-round safety, Harrison Smith, who I think is having a heck of a year.
You mentioned he's had a couple of fines, and then he, whether inadvertently or not, ran into an official and got tossed out of another game. Timeout. The Bucs about to go to 3-4, and when you take a look at their upcoming schedule, and that looks pretty good for them. They might be in the 6-win category when they take on Atlanta. Who knows?
Yeah, they continue to play consistently in all 3 phases, and this is a team under Greg Schiano that's playing hard, fast, tough, aggressive football, no doubt. With some big wideouts too.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and actually Mike Williams has been bigger than Vincent Jackson, not in stature tonight, but with the number of catches and the big plays that he's made.
Yeah, 6 catches for 68 and a touchdown. Vincent Jackson only 2 catches for 40, but he'll take the W any day of the week.
Adrian Peterson, the all-time Viking leader in 100-yard games, but it's going to be in a losing effort unless something very strange happens in the next 4 minutes and 22 seconds. LeGarrette Blount, stiff arm, reverses his field across the 30, blasts his way out to the 36-yard line. The Vikings, things are going to get tough for them.
Oh yeah,
they'll fall to 5-3 at Seattle. That's not
a
an easy
brutal
trip.
place to play right there.
You talk about noise. That's noisy.
Yeah,
then
man.
Detroit, and then they get a bye, and then they hit the division hard. Chicago, 2 of the 3 weeks with Green Bay mixed in between. That is not an easy slate for Minnesota.
And let's be honest about Minnesota. I'm excited for them. They're a young team. I think Rick Spielman and Leslie Frazier have this thing turned in the right direction. I think 5-2 is an optimistic start. That's not who they are yet, but they're headed in the right direction. 2
more wins than all of last season. A disastrous 3-13, but I know the folks in Minnesota are going to go home disappointed that it's not 6-2 instead of 5-3 after this one. I think they had high hopes against a Tampa team that beat them a year ago, and a Tampa team that's had trouble on the road and hadn't won since they beat Minnesota last year.
I mean, that's the guy right there, Christian Ponder. He's got to continue to develop, and they also need to find another weapon, because people are going to squat all over Percy Harvin in the pass game, and Peterson's going to see 8- and 9-man fronts all season long.
Under 3 minutes. Another dose of LeGarrette Blount, who puts both hands around the football, gets out for a yard or so. Key games coming up on Sunday. I mentioned one of them earlier. The Falcons are undefeated, but after the bye week, they've got to take on the Eagles on the road, Giants, and the Cowboys, always a huge affair. New Orleans with Drew Brees playing very well, and their coach, or interim coach at least, Joe Vitt back.
Yeah.
And that'll be a shootout with Peyton Manning and the Broncos, and then an NFC West battle on Monday night. 49ers and Cardinals, who started off 4-0, but now they've hit a skid. And we saw San Francisco last week in their win on Thursday night. Speaking of Thursday night, we'll take it to the AFC West next week. Phillip Rivers and the Chargers taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, Jamal Charles and company. That's our matchup next Thursday. Hope you join us from San Diego.
Yeah, Denver and San Diego lead that division with 3-3 records.
Yeah.
You know, Kansas City at 1-5, conceivably not even out of it.
Blount, little stop and start, and gets across the 40 to the 41. Minnesota takes its final timeout with 2:44 remaining. Doug Martin, what a night he's put in. Jared Allen, that one play that he made, it almost looked like Minnesota could sort of turn things around if their offense, when they got it back after that third down and the fight that he had with Tampa Bay's left tackle. and that ignited the crowd. At that point, it's 30-17, and if Minnesota could have gotten anything going on offense or even gotten points out of that, I think this maybe would have ended up a little bit differently.
Yeah, you give up 10 points off turnovers in the first half. That hurts you. It's a 20-10 ball game. They've been fighting that uphill battle the entire game.
Ball takes a Tampa Bay bounce. I got to think right now the folks in Tampa, they've been a little frustrated. They came in 4 losses, but by a total of 22 points, and you can say all that stuff about, hey, it's the best 2-4 team or whatever in the NFL. But right now I think they got to be smiling down in Tampa.
Yeah, and I think there's a reason to be smiling. And I think what you see is a young, aggressive, tough football team. Are they a playoff team this year? Probably not, but they're getting better. Right. What I like is the combination of Greg Schiano, the head coach, and their general manager, Mark Dominic. I think they're joined at the hip. I think they had a really good draft this past year, as did Minnesota. And I think what we're looking at is 2 of the younger teams in the league that a year or 2 from now will start to hit their stride.
Christian Ponder has trouble with the snap. Got it to Michael Jenkins on a slant. Jenkins across midfield for a Minnesota first down. And a pickup of 23, so Jenkins a couple of catches here in the late stages of the ball game.
Good job by Ponder, looking one way, coming back. Tampa sitting in a soft zone.
Another quick slant, Jenkins again. And to the 31 and another first down. So that should take us down to the 2-minute warning. I don't think they're going to get another snap off in time here.
Nope.
And there it is. So the Vikings will have a first down with only a couple of minutes left, though. No other way to stop it for them. Out of timeouts and down 36-17.
Getting ready for the post-game show. Josh Freeman is going to be on it. We'll see you then. And like all good receivers, I started with both feet in bounds and maintained possession throughout the whole walk and talk, Brad.
Way to tightrope it, Rich. Good job. Last 2 minutes, Minnesota just inside the Bucs 31-yard line. Ponder and hit, and down he goes. And that's been the story of the night. Michael Bennett with the sack, the 3rd of the night. And when Ponder hasn't been sacked, he's been harassed and hit several other times.
Yep. Bennett just cleanly beat the right tackle load hole.
There's a throw out complete where Rudolph's met at the 30-yard line after a pickup of 5.
Rich likes that walk and talk.
He does. He's great at it too.
I mean, he appreciates and likes it and embraces it.
He does.
I want to get a slow motion of that walk.
Shows strong footwork at all times. Ponder over the middle completes. And it's Toby Gerhardt out of the backfield down to the 20.
What's that camera we have, an Exmo? Is that what it's called?
I think so.
The extra slow motion. You get that on Eisen. Look at the nose there. Stuff.
Pump fake, and now the throw is intercepted, and that's just going to cap things off for a tough night for Christian Ponder as Leonard Johnson has the interception.
That kid right there was one of my favorite players in the draft last year. He was undrafted out of Iowa State. I thought he was one of the toughest. It's a little boundary corner. He was speed deficient, but the kid competed every week. Love what he did against Baylor.
Bennett, who had that sack a minute ago, is the guy that's down.
You can't afford to lose him. They're just getting Daquan Bowers back. Here's the throw. Leonard Johnson. Nice job.
So the interception problems for Christian Ponder continue tonight too. Get a road win. Their last one last year. They were down 17 points in that game, and in the second biggest comeback in team history, they won it 24-20 tonight. They never got behind, and they're going to win it going away here. 36-17 with just under a minute to go. And they'll just take a knee here. Josh Freeman, the Bucs offense. Last week, Freeman had 420 yards passing. Tonight, they've got 420 yards of total offense. No turnovers, only 1 sack allowed against the Minnesota rush that has been so efficient against everybody. Rondé Barber, who's had a great game defensively in there, is just a safety man standing around the goal line to make sure the ball doesn't pop out or something strange happen. Almost 38 minutes in time of possession tonight. And then a rookie who was absolutely sensational. Over 130 yards rushing, a 64-yard touchdown on a reception mixed into that 75. And definitely the star of the show was Doug Martin. And really both sides of the ball. There's a lot of stars for the Bucs shining tonight inside the dome. And they go to 3-4. They've won 2 of their last 3. Minnesota's going to drop to 5-3 in the very competitive NFC North. Final score 36-17 Tampa. Big win on the road for first-year head coach Greg Schiano. That's going to do it for Mike and I and Alex, but we'll be back in a minute with a Kay Jewelers post-game show featuring highlights, analysis, and Josh Freeman on the set with Rich and the guys. Stick around.